Do you know the Muffin Man? The Muffin Man. The Muffin Man. Who lives on Drury Lane? What are the humans doing?
Do you think you're ready? Can you handle the truth? Or are you in denial and demanding more proof? They demonstrate in real time how they're spinning you lies, but no one pays attention, no one opens their eyes. They walk around like zombies with their head in the mobiles, signaling their virtues with a pick on their profile. Yeah. Signaling their virtues with a pick on their profile. So if you think you're ready, you don't need more proof. Conspiracy deniers are denying the truth. They fabricate our problems and pretend to provide the best solution, but we all know they lie. They lied about the weapons and they lied about health. They lied about the fact that they're transferring the wealth. You should really notice how they're pushing the fear. Keep everybody terrified and not thinking clear. Yeah. Everybody's not thinking clear. Keep everybody terrified. Yeah, thinking and not thinking. Keep everybody terrified and not thinking clear. When you do, you realize that this is a trick. It's getting really stupid now. They're taking the mick. Said, do you think you're ready? Can you handle the truth? Or are you in denial and demanding more proof? They demonstrate in real time how they're spinning you lies, but no one pays attention, no one opens their eyes. They walk around like zombies with their head in the mobiles, signaling their virtues with a pick on their profile. Yeah. Signaling their virtues on their profile. Hey.
Oh, Sasquatch? Oh, yeah, he's like the Sandy Waxler of YouTubes.
Next time he'll get his own ketchup.
That's Wife Squatch's only single appearance in any sort of anything anywhere. How we doing tonight, folks? Welcome to Chilling with Sasquatch. We're going to find out whether or not you know the Muffin Man. But I have my binky backstage. Do you know the Muffin Man? You know, you're always muted when we start. You never unmute before we start. You're doing real good.
Oh, the Muffin Man.
The Muffin
Maybe.
Man. How you doing? Good.
Good.
I'm almost the right size. One of these days, I'm gonna figure out how big you are over there, and I'm gonna make myself nuts, man. I just can't eyeball that shit. There's no way.
You're welcome, Tiffany.
Yeah, we got a whole bunch of folks over here in chat. I say a whole bunch. There's a few. There's a bunch. There's some folks. They're over here in chat.
Mother loving LBG.
The Mother Loving LBG crew. We got Tiffany's Epiphany. Lucy Morningstar gets the gold because Swiss Miss is moderator. Tiffany's Epiphany gets the silver. You don't qualify. You can't have it. Frank Pants gets the bronze. And then we got Mother Loving LBG. What's up, brother? What's going on? What's happening? We're shaking. Frank Pants is in here, of course. We got Lucy Morningstar that's chilling around. Swiss Miss, Tiffany's Epiphany, and they have been very chatty. Russell Sperry's joined the chat. That's cool. Like to see him around. Snark and Sass is in here, and she's saying bippity boppity boopy. Boopy. That's the way that goes.
Baby.
Boopy. Right? Isn't that what you do to the dogs? Poke them in the nose and say boopy? Little Big Giant. The usual. All right. Well, that's cool. All right. So what do you know about the Muffin Man?
He lives on Drury Lane.
That's a good start. Do you know why we know about the Muffin Man?
Because of a nursery rhyme.
That's also true. But do you know why that rhyme was written?
Because he's a killer. I don't know.
As a cautionary tale to keep random kids from wandering too close to the Muffin Man.
But who's the Muffin Man?
He lives on Drury Lane. All right. Well, all questions shall be answered. Unveiling forth shall become.
In a slight deviation from the regular theme of this channel,
this is Hammerson Peters. He was nice enough to send me a little video answering some of my questions very early in my YouTuber career.
Hey, what's true?
He's got what's truth?
What's
What's
true?
up, what's truth? What's happening, bud? Good to see you. That's another one right there. Yep. Let me drop that link in chat so I can't be seen as being too terrible partial. But this man has a mountain of excellent content. That's all I'm saying. He's been at it for a minute.
this video brings us away from the wilds of the Great White North to one of the ancient cities of old Christendom, to the birthplace of a little-known European legend. Many of the traditional nursery rhymes and fairy tales with which Western children are often inundated are tinged with a strain of the macabre. The nursery rhyme Ring Around the Rosie, for example, is popularly believed to be an allusion to some outbreak of bubonic plague that swept across England in centuries past, like the Great Plague of London or the infamous Black Death. The lullaby Rockabye Baby describes the likely injury and possible death of the eponymous infant, who falls from the canopy of a tree when the branch supporting her cradle breaks. The famous German folk tales collected by the Brothers Grimm in the early 19th century are far darker than their modern whitewashed derivatives. Cinderella's wicked stepsisters mutilating their feet in order to fit them into the magic slipper, and the villainous witch being roasted to death in her own oven in the story Hansel and Gretel. And Humpty Dumpty, whose body is shattered beyond repair after a high fall, is not, despite popular perception, verbally portrayed as an egg. In keeping with this pattern, the beloved English nursery rhyme, The Muffin Man, has a surprisingly dark origin. Although conventional wisdom holds that the titular Muffin Man is probably based on a baker or a grocer who once practiced his trade on Drury Lane, a historic London street marking the eastern boundary of the city's West End, many modern video adaptations of the rhyme depict this character as an anthropomorphic muffin with arms, legs, a mouth, and eyes. Disturbingly, this quaint interpretation, which many of us might reflexively dismiss as the charming but baseless product of childlike imagination, is far closer to reality. In this video, we will explore the chilling true story of the Muffin Man.
The Muffin.
The historic event behind this nursery rhyme was alluded to in the 1675 book, A Journey by Horse and Sail Throughout the Christian Kingdoms, during the years 1667 and 1668, by Prussian scientist, soldier, and travel writer Gustavus von Binkelheim. In the spring of 1667, while touring the city of London, England, still reeling from the great fire of the previous year, Binkelheim met an elderly chemist and alchemist named John Hook, who invited him to spend an evening with him at his sister's home on Drury Lane. This gentleman, Binkelheim wrote in German, told me a most remarkable story pertaining to a baker by trade, who, prior to the event I shall shortly describe, lived on the very same street as that of the house in which we were presently occupied, which is called Drury Lane. This baker, as well as my host, lived under the rule of those joyless reformers who call themselves the Puritans, whose tenuous hold on the reins of England was broken by the return of the present King Charles II, restored after long exile to his rightful throne. In those days of austerity, the Puritans welcomed with open arms the sons and daughters of Israel, those roving peoples who were banished from that country on pain of death in the time of the Holy Wars in Palestine. Among the first to avail himself of his change of fortune was a Jew by the name of Gomez, who, with his family, made his abode in a house on Drury Lane, to which my host directed my attention. Binkelheim went on to explain.
Of course, we had to go there, right? Like, if you're
We
talking
had to.
a late 1700s, early 1800s story, we definitely got to drop off in the immediate anti-Semitism. It's not a time period correct tale. I don't get it, but okay. Moving on, as Carrie is wanting to say. Moving right along.
Explain how Gomez and the baker quickly became bitter enemies, their feud being occasioned by a romance that blossomed between their eldest children, which resulted in Gomez's daughter converting to Christianity. As retribution for this offense, Gomez solicited the services of a prominent rabbi who had also taken up residence in London, who was well versed in the arcane arts of the Jewish mystics. After consulting a variety of esoteric texts, the rabbi crafted a humanoid effigy from flour, water, and oil, using those ingredients in mockery of the baker's profession. The original German word which Binkelheim used to describe this pastry was Muffa, which designates a small cake, vaguely resembling the breakfast food we know today as the English muffin. In a footnote in the 1895 English translation of the book, the editor proposed that the effigy was a sort of traditional Jewish pancake called a muffletta. Whatever the case, the rabbi inscribed the effigy with strange symbols and pronounced a series of incantations over it, thereby imbuing the dough with some terrible form of life. Although the figure itself could not speak, Binkelheim wrote of this horrific creature. It understood what was said to it and commanded of it. By and by, it grew each day. Though very small at first, it ended its expansion by becoming as large as a man. The author went on to explain how the rabbi, at Gomez's request, instructed the monster to torment the baker every night as punishment for his son's actions. The creature so terrorized the craftsman that, after enduring several months of nightly intrusions, he fled to the country with his family, never setting foot in London again. Binkelheim concluded his anecdote by stating that, absurd though the tale may seem to educated readers, Hook assured him that several of his neighbors, whom he regarded as sober and respectable, claimed to have witnessed the creature quickly and methodically trudging down Drury Lane in the dead of night, apparently heedless of its surroundings, as if under the influence of some sort of spell. In the mid-late 17th century, the nursery rhyme The Muffin Man, now known and beloved by children throughout the English-speaking world, developed organically in London, perhaps serving as a warning against, or a reminder of, the mysterious, muffin-like automaton said to have once haunted Drury Lane. According to the Roud Folk Song Index, a collection of nearly 25,000 songs from English oral tradition, the rhyme had acquired its familiar tune by at least 1820. In addition to its contribution to Anglo culture, Binkelheim's story had a profound yet seldom acknowledged legacy in the travel writer's native Germany, which was outlined by American folklorist Dr. Avril Prima in her spring 1981 article for the Journal of the Commonwealth Folklore Institute. In 1875, Austrian playwright Heinrich Klinker wrote a theatrical tragedy based on the Muffin Man story, which, in 1924, was adapted into a silent film. In 1926, while speaking at a Nazi Party meeting in Munich, Hitler's future Reich Minister of Propaganda, Dr. Joseph Goebbels, alluded to Klinker's play, characterizing the Muffin Man as the embodiment of the Judeo-Bolshevik threat to the Volksgemeinschaft, or German people. This metaphor was the subject of several papers written by members of the Reich Institute for German Volkskunde, an organization established for the purpose of justifying the Nazi ideology through the study of German folklore. And it survived well into World War II, evident in a derisive label which German soldiers applied to Jewish partisans active in German-occupied Belgium, namely Muffin Commandos. In the aftermath of World War II, as part of the denazification of Germany, Klinker's play was banned from public performance on both sides of the Iron Curtain, and in fact remains banned today. Incredibly, one final flourish to the saga of the Muffin Man was added 1 year ago to this very day. while appraising a 17th century chest in a home in Drury Lane, which had been handed down throughout the owner's family for generations. A British antiquarian discovered a false bottom, beneath which was a sheet of parchment, which proved to be the lost final page of Binkelheim's handwritten manuscript, a document which never made it into print. Curiously, the page bore only 2 words.
Gotcha.
Welcome to True Rhymes, where the rhyme you always wondered about is going to get exposed.
For those of you who are slipping, that was entirely bullshit, made up stuff by Hammerson Peters, who put that shit together specifically to put out on April Fool's Day. That entire video, all of the work that went into it, the beautiful stuff was all put up just to go waka waka.
Waka waka.
Waka waka. It's all a joke, man. Don't be offended. Anyway, so the actual story, I suppose, would be up next. Is that the way we do that?
Yeah.
First we print the false version, then we print the retraction in the back page. Is that how it works?
Yes.
And he
All right. From the top there, Fred. This is what's the name of them, that their channel? I just seen it. True Rhymes. This dude goes through the history of different types of folk songs, folk rhymes, fairy tales, children's stories, and various other stuff. What's up, Country Boy Archaeology? Good to see you. Nice. Oh, Scotty Waddle showed up too. Good to see you.
Scotty Waddles.
Scotty Waddles. I don't know why we did that. I actually feel strange now.
Welcome to True Rhymes, where the rhyme you always wondered about is going to get exposed. And here we go. Tonight, if you're a lover of fresh baked goods, if you love a good muffin in the morning, well, you're in the right place, because tonight rhyme is all about the Muffin Man.
He's getting me excited.
Oh, they're fixing to kick me out of StreamYards. Technical issues incoming.
So here we go. This is another rhyme that a bloke has to have an attempt at singing, because I think it comes out better as a song. Right, here we go. My memory's pretty crap because I'm getting old, so we're going to read it and sing it at the same time. So I put on my eyes, and here we go.
Get on my
Do
eyes.
you know the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man? Do you know the Muffin Man who lives down Drury Lane? Yes, I know the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man. Yes, I know the Muffin Man who lives down Drury Lane. Ah, what a cheery little song. Tell you what, I have a hankering for a fresh muffin right now, because back before there was Uber Eats, there was Uber Bakers, because they would turn up and they would drop your fresh bread off to your door every morning. It wasn't quite the selection that you had nowadays, but hell, nothing like a bit of fresh bread at your door, or a fresh muffin in this case. Whoa, I tell you what. But in Drury Lane, there was a bit of competition for that business. Tonight's rhyme is about a baker. Surprisingly, he lived on Drury Lane. And guess what? His name was Frederick Thomas Linwood. Wow, look at that. How good is my research? I think I've found out a bloke's name. Oh, you'd never know where we're going to end. Of course, you might have guessed, being that he's making muffins, he's a baker. And as you know, in the days of old, baking bread was a pretty tough gig, as you can imagine by our rhyme and the way it's gone together. Our mate Frederick was a baker, and he was on Drury Lane, but there was not the only baker that was living there. So he thought to himself, I've got to come up with a plan and increase my holdings, increase the circulation of my muffins. And so, you know, in the 1500s, though, the bakers, they didn't have a heck of a lot of cash laying about, but what they did have is a shitload of spoons. So what did Frederick do? He got himself motivated. Yeah, I know what you're thinking out there. Spoons are not a very deadly weapon. But trust me, when you're an ingenious dude, you can make shit happen. And he got organised. He's got a nice long handle.
Are we about to embed the shank? You're muted.
I want that line. We got to back up. I want that line.
But trust me, when
Okay, hold on. Shh.
Oh, no, I'm not shushing.
you're an ingenious dude, you can make shit happen. And he got organised, and a spoon's got a nice long handle.
All right.
All right.
Because when you're an ingenious dude, you can make shit happen. I wanted that line. Glorious.
Ooh, so he sharpened it up to make it a stabbing instrument, and whoo, he'd give you a bit of a
Our
poke.
first shank.
Next thing you know, and the story unfolds. The bloke did a pretty good job, I guess, if you got motivated enough to sharpen a spoon and go killing people. Hell, he managed to kill 7 other bakers in Drury Lane, which was rather successful, I think, if you think about it. I don't know. I'm tipping if you go to all the trouble of sharpening a spoon and going about killing folk, there probably were better bakers than you. But, you know, I don't know. I know this doesn't say that anywhere, but I'm just
throwing shade already.
Because, you know what? If I was going to go out and murder some bakers, I'd at least make sure it was the better ones than me and not the shit ones. So after old Frederick Linwood had managed to kill off 7 bakers, I think that makes him a reasonable candidate to become a serial killer. And the first name he got was the Drury Street Dicer. But that really didn't stick because there was something more to this story. Now, if that's not crazy enough, going around killing the opposition, which actually was a positive outcome for his business in some respects, he got more customers, but with more customers came more children, and he was most annoyed that he had children running around his baker's shop and knocking shit over. I don't know whether they were stealing muffins or what was going on, but I don't think they were doing that. I think they were just there being kids, making a mess. And I don't reckon our mate Frederick, or the Muffin Man, was much of a friendly fella, because he came up with a new plan, and I'm guessing it's not a huge jump if you're going to be killing bakers to going around killing children. But, let's not dwell on that too much, because that's a bit messy. Now, of course, in the blooming 1500s, even with more customers, there still wasn't a lot of cash to go around. The Muffin Man was not going to be held back just because he had limited resources. He came up with an ingenious plan. He tied a muffin to a piece of string, so his kids would think, oh, there's a nice warm muffin. I'm going to get that. And as the kid would reach down for the muffin, he'd pull it away from him, and then they'd chase it into a dark lane. I know what you're thinking out there. Your kid would not be chasing the muffin down the blooming back alley, because hell. But just remember, back then, everybody was starving to death, and a bloody muffin, even if it was dragged through the horseshit, was probably quite edible. Anyway, the legend continues. Apparently, he would get the kids to the back of the shop, which was a reasonably dark place, and he'd whack them with a spoon. Okay, I know. We're back to the spoon again. Use your imagination. Now, look, spoons, you're thinking of your little pissy little wooden spoon you got in your kitchen. But if you actually knew what they were using in a baker's shop to stir up these great big pots, they were massive wooden spoons. They were more like a cricket bat. So I reckon they were more than capable of knocking you and me out. Never mind the kid. The kid didn't have a chance. So old Muffin Man would whack the kid on the back of the head, drag him into the shop. Of course, you know, being a sadistic prick, he wasn't just happy just to kill him. He'd like to bloom torture him a little bit first. I'm not exactly sure. It doesn't elaborate on what torture.
I know.
Did.
All right. I know who this guy reminds me of. He reminds me of he sounds like Tildar Hobblesquatch.
I don't know who that is.
The goblin that I interviewed. He sounds just like him.
I'm hoping it was just something weird, like putting their hand on the hot plate and making them squawk. I don't know. So this is pretty much the original rhyme that the kids would sing to each other once they figured out the fact that bloody chasing muffins down the lane was not a very good idea. It was probably...
What's the other one?
So never mind the fact that it was probably bloody unhygienic.
With the witch, you know, and the candy house.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No shit.
Well, some horse shit on the muffins. You know.
Interesting.
And so the kids would all sing to each other. Do you know the Muffin Man, with a question mark? Do you know the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man? Do you know the Muffin Man who lives down Drury Lane? And the other kids would answer with a song in return, and they'd say the same thing. They'd join up and say, yes, we know the Muffin Man, and then they'd all go off singing together, and they'd say, sing down the lane, do you know the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man? Do you know the Muffin Man who lives down Drury Lane? And this was their way of warning each other that there was a murderer who didn't like kids a hell of a lot, and he was living on Drury Lane. And I'm tipping that Drury Lane was very much a bad place if you were a kid. So the kids were all informing each other, if you see a bloody muffin tied to a piece of string, worth your life, leave the bloody thing for the birds to eat. Hell, so kids, if you happen to be wandering along the street and you see a muffin, and it happens to be tied to a piece of string, bloody run the other way, for fuck's sake.
As far as the goblin, I want to be completely straight with everybody in chat. We sat backstage and talked for a while, both before and after the show, and not once, not even once, did I get him to break character. With all my bullshit and all my constantly spouting funny stuff and whatnot, not once did that man fully break character. So for all I know, he's a fucking goblin. I'm just saying, man. All right. Have y'all ever heard of the most inbred family in the world?
Freaking Twat Waffle. Who? The most inbred?
Which one? Where? Where's the
I don't know.
Who's the
Twat Waffle? I don't know. It just sounded good.
Is it Carrie? I bet it's Carrie.
The most inbred family.
All right, hold on. Let's do this right. You ever heard of the blue folks from Kentucky?
The blue?
Yes.
No.
All right. So I don't have the exact condition on hand, but there is a genetic condition that generally only occurs in humans in the event of heavy inbreeding. And a particular family in Kentucky and West Virginia, I believe, eventually achieved a real life Xbox achievement by making blue kids and then breeding blue kids to blue kids. It's disturbing.
Like for real blue kids?
Blue folk. Yes, blue folk. Blue. Okay, here, I'll let them. No, I'm dead serious, man. It's a wild tale, and it only takes a little bit of outbreeding to clear it all up.
Do you want to waffle my twat? What, Carrie? Moving on.
Be one of those types of shows.
Here we go again, another inbred video. A few weeks ago, I uploaded a video covering America's most inbred family. This video turned out very popular, accruing 2.2 million views and thousands of comments. One of the many comments on that video said I should look into the Colt family, which was a family I had not heard of at the time. Oh boy, I rather wish I hadn't. And so, I'm going to share my findings with you today. At first, I didn't think much of this family, but once I looked into their family tree, I realized that they were, in fact, even more inbred than the Whitakers I had covered beforehand, and are, quite possibly, the most inbred.
Have y'all seen the Whitakers videos?
No.
They've been covered by a couple of YouTubers since this guy did his video. And so no, apparently that was not an invitation that was accepted. Stir the pot.
I'll let you smell my hair.
Ooh, well, don't say that too loud because Biden will show up. Wait, no, you're not. My bad.
Family in the world. Meet the Colt family, who are Australia's most inbred family without doubt. As always, if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave a like or a comment. And without further ado, let's move on to today's video. In 2012, on a farm 4 hours southwest of Sydney, police were called to a report of a putrid smell of urine and human feces. When police arrived to the farm, they found 20 rabid dogs. Apparently, no owner.
That's what everyone needs is rabid dogs.
When police pressed further, they found 7 siblings who appeared.
The dingo ate my baby.
Their children were even more inbred than they were, and some of those even had their own set of even more inbred children. Police were alerted by this and decided to question members of the family who piecemeal traded family secrets. Meet the Colt family, Australia's most inbred family without doubt. Why? 4 generations of the Colt family were inbred, including the direct ancestor of the Colt clan. Today's video will be structured into 2 parts. Firstly, we will go over the family tree of the Colt family, establishing which members of the family were inbred, but also which members of the family committed incestuous relationships. The second part of the video will use the consanguinity coefficient to prove just how inbred this whole family is. And it will be pretty complex since the family has multiple branches of inbreeding.
Weird. That was a strange
The
transition.
Colt family was founded Colt and
that
his
was
wife
hardcore.
June, born 1946 and 1948 respectively. We don't know if Tim knew this when they married, but June's parents were actually full siblings, meaning that June herself was inbred. Tim and June were not related, meaning that their 7 children were less inbred than their mother June. When police interviewed the family in 2012, June and Tim were both dead, and most of their children were in their 40s and 50s. Their eldest, Rhonda, aged 56, was unmarried, yet had 6 of her own children, aged between 41 and 15. Because her eldest was 41, Rhonda was only 15 when she gave birth, which is not only illegal, but suspicious considering she failed to report to police who the father was. However, Rhonda's 2 sisters, Betty and Martha, were more willing to impart information with the police about their children.
Oh, good.
The youngest sibling, Martha, was her father's favourite, according to her. Unfortunately, this translated into him, doing certain actions on her. When Martha was 18, she gave birth to her eldest child, whose father, Tim, was also...
Well, I didn't know if he was alive or dead or what. I had no idea. And rather than have your phone picked up by some random dude somewhere and then start traipsing all over the world, just be patient.
So its grandfather. She gave birth to 4 more children, all of whom having the same father. The other sister, Betty, confessed that some of her children were likely products of her own father. DNA testing confirmed that 5 of her 12 children were indeed fathered by Tim. Disgustingly, when police arrived at the family farm in 2012, they also caught Betty and Martha's brother, Frank, doing something inappropriate, to say the least, to one of Betty's youngest children, Petra. Frank was detained for this, and he stated that he did not understand what he did wrong, considering his father did the same act with his own children. It's likely that the Colt family did not understand the disgusting nature of their actions. In fact, when Betty was investigated further by the police, she was confessed about something her daughters informed her years ago of incidents involving their brothers. Now, I can go into details here, but for the sake of monetization and for the added fact that I do not want to explicitly say what happened out loud, please refer to the article I have attached in the video description. Another one of Betty's daughters, Tammy, confessed that her 3 children were fathered by her own brother, Derek. Tammy, aged 27, was only 12 when her brother started to act on her. Tammy had 3 children, but the youngest had died directly from an inbreeding disorder, and the other 2 were incredibly sickly due to their inbreeding. However, the most disgusting part of the family's whole mess comes from the great-granddaughter Kimberly. She claimed that her father was a backpacker from Sweden, but DNA tests showed that she not only had the same father as her mother, but also had the same father as her grandmother, Betty. This means that her father was Tim, who at the same time was her grandfather and also her great-grandfather. It's easy to realize that Tim Colt was the progenitor of the whole inbreeding chronic. However, interviews with the Colt grandchildren implicated their mother, Betty Colt, as being their father's accomplice, as she encouraged her children to engage in illegal acts with one another. She also banned her daughters from visiting the doctor when pregnant and made them give birth alone, fearing that health professionals would want to pry into details of the father and potentially arrest him. Martha's children, slightly less inbred, are, however, a microcosm for the effects of inbreeding on the entire family. For example, Martha's youngest son, Carl, was unable to walk, could not even speak, and struggled to read. Carl's elder brother had routine infections due to his inbreeding and also had a hearing impediment. Martha's daughters were victims of their cousin's siblings' actions, but because they were so inbred, they were
North
unable
Alabama
to conceive,
cryptid Mr.
which
and
is
Mrs.
ironically
NAC.
fortunate, though tragic for the family. Before we dissect into the inbreeding of each individual, I do want to keep something in mind here. This is not really something that I suggest mainly in my videos, but lately I'm realizing it's very important to do so. When we assess victims and culprits, it's clear that this family contains multiple perpetrators of illegal activity. However, when someone is born into a family where this behavior is regarded as normal, it's hardly surprising that even victims later become perpetrators. Now, as I earlier conveyed, there are many notable individuals in this family. In fact, when the family were visited in 2012, there were 36 named members of the family. Only one of these, Tim, had no inbreeding, meaning that all other 35 suffered from inbreeding in one shape or another. In order to break down how inbred everyone is, I will group certain members of the family together. For example, the children of Tim and June all had the same inbreeding, being of full siblings. Martha's children shared parents, and so they would have the same inbreeding, even having the same father, and therefore the same inbreeding as Betty's inbred children. Tammy's 2 surviving children are in their own group, as is Kimberly, whose father was also her grandfather and great-grandfather. To work out how inbred everyone is, I will be using the consanguinity coefficient as always. If you haven't watched this video already, please consult.
Wow. That brings a whole new meaning to the song, Your Own Grandpa. Like, wow. Just wow.
And I have attached this in the video description.
And I thought we were bad in Georgia, man. Them Australians, they just get it, son. Woo.
This will break down how to work out how inbred someone is. The first inbred person in this family is June, who was a child of full siblings. This means it's easy to work out how inbred she is, and she had an inbreeding level of 0.25, 25%. Because Tim was not known to be inbred, having children with June means that their 7 children had an inbreeding level of 0.125, 12.5%. So we've gone through the easy part, but now we're moving on to the more complex situation. Let's look at Martha and Betty's inbred children, who were not only cousins, but half-siblings, since they shared the same father and grandfather, Tim. Their father, Tim, was not inbred, but their mothers were partly inbred, so we need to keep that in mind. But because their parents were parent and child, their inbreeding level would at a base be 0.25. But because their mother is inbred, this also needs to be included. This means that the children had an inbreeding level of about 0.3 or 30%. Keep in mind, Charles II of Spain was less inbred than these children, which explains why many of them were unable to have children.
That's the only guy not in my intro
in some cases,
that I've hosted.
Speak. Unfortunately, not all of these children were infertile. Tammy, who was not an inbred child of the mother, nonetheless had an inbreeding level half of her mother. Her children were fathered by her non-inbred brother Derek, who had the same inbreeding level as her. Because they were full siblings, their children would have an inbreeding base level again of 25%. But we have to also include their parents' inbreeding level. So this means that Tammy had an overall inbreeding of 29%. And this is responsible for the death of one of her children, the youngest child. Like Charles II's own siblings in history, they died from the same reason, inbreeding. Finally, the last member of the family we're going to investigate today is
funky,
Kimberly,
like crooked.
who is the most inbred person in the entire family.
That might be from the whoopings, though. I don't
Her
know.
mother was the daughter and granddaughter of Tim, meaning that she had an inbreeding level of 30%. However, Tim then performed another act of abuse, resulting in the birth of Kimberly. In total, Kimberly's inbreeding level is roughly 0.43 or 43%. Keep in mind this is close to 50%, which would be the most inbred a person could possibly be.
That's pretty wild.
And there we have it, the world's most inbred family, the Colt family. Please leave a like or a comment and let me know what you learned from this video.
All right. I replaced his thing. That's the Shy Historian, right? All right, so I got this really long freaking video over here. It's like absurdly long. And I've got the link pinned in chat if anybody's got anything to say about it. But keep in mind, previous guests first. So if there's 5 people and I don't know one of you, you're not coming up here unless you're throwing the right gang signs is the way that's going to work. I mean, I don't necessarily have to see your face, but we're going to have to talk about it or something, you know. We're going to do the thing with the stuff. I have that on good authority.
I think it's cool
that this detective is hilarious, at least according to this guy. All right, giggity, giggity.
Cool. Do you get points on Grand Theft Auto for being in a real stolen car? I don't. What is it? Do you get an extra cheeseburger when you order a Happy Meal if you're in a stolen car?
Milwaukee officers on patrol on a Saturday night spot a vehicle that was reported stolen just 2 days earlier. They flash their sirens in an attempt to pull the car over, resulting in the stolen vehicle speeding off.
That was the joke I was going for, bro. You got
During
it.
the pursuit, the driver
You
hits
get the
speeds of up to
participation
90
trophy
miles
of the
per
night.
hour. He runs 6 stop signs as well as 1 red light and drives the wrong direction down 2 one-way streets. Eventually, he is successful in losing the police. But a couple minutes later, another patrol car spots the vehicle, and a second pursuit ensues. This time, the driver is less like Ryan Gosling in Drive and more like Leonardo DiCaprio in The Wolf of Wall Street. The pursuit ends in a crash. 3 men alight the crashed car and run away on foot. The police chase the men. Driver, 18-year-old Nathaniel Lewick, hides in some bushes but is ultimately spotted by one officer. Nathaniel fires a gun at that officer, who responds by firing back. Before
Please
either
have to be
party
the
is injured
green
or killed,
one.
2 other officers arrive and draw their firearms, ordering Nathaniel to drop his weapon. Nathaniel follows orders and is subsequently brought to the police station for questioning.
I'll go around this side of the table for you.
Let the games begin.
Dun, dun, dun.
Second. You smoke? You smoke?
Only that hard.
Yeah? All right, give us a hot minute. Look at that nice cold bottle of water. How you like that?
I want a Big Mac.
Got that? All right.
Yeah, I think Tim might have been the Muffin Man because
This one
he
got it right. Your last
certainly
name is
put a bunch of buns
Lewek.
in the oven.
And then it's Nathaniel. How do you spell it?
Nathaniel.
Middle?
Joseph.
Birthday?
6/30/02.
Where you stay at?
I stay with my baby mom.
What's the address?
I just found out I had a baby
You just had a baby?
last night. No, she pregnant.
Oh.
I got 2 baby moms. I got 2 babies on one.
Okay. What address you stay at?
Wait. He got 2 babies on the
I
way.
really don't know her dress. Like,
Maybe he's the Muffin Man.
Where's it about? Where is it about?
It's on 28th and Cherry.
What's her name?
Didi.
What's her real name?
Didi.
What's her last name?
Her name is D. D.
You're gonna kill her? You don't know her last name?
I just met her last.
What's your phone number?
Her phone number?
Yours.
I don't got her phone number.
What's her number?
I don't know. Friends with her on the message.
On what?
Messages.
Facebook Messenger?
Yeah.
What's her Facebook?
Solo Didi.
Solo Didi?
Mm-hmm.
Like DEE? Or Solo Didi?
SOLODEDE.
All right. What's your Facebook?
Big Nate.
Big Nate? That's it?
Oh, my God.
That's kind of neat. What's your mom's name?
Christian.
Where does she live?
12th and Keith.
You know the address?
No.
Right.
What is that?
414. 346 216.
5216?
Mm-hmm.
All right. How about your dad?
You know,
My dad was in my life.
Oh, okay.
I just realized that, being a mom, I'm no longer a snack. I'm a freaking Happy Meal. I come with toys and kids.
Hey. Huh. Did I get a grimace shake with it?
Yeah, I mean, sure.
Is it gonna?
And then we'll see you dead. I mean, ain't that the grimace shake?
I thought the Grimace was, and I don't want to talk about Grimace. He gave me nightmares.
Got any brothers?
Yeah.
How many?
2. They twins. They 6 years old.
6 years old?
Mm-hmm.
How was that going?
Their birthday just passed.
Okay. What's their names? Oh, for the Fox 6 kids turning 6?
Mm-hmm.
What's their last name?
Wow.
Yeah, wow. More than just wow.
Well, yeah, but your lucky laptop news. If you had a cell phone, it'd be a bit of a misnomer, wouldn't it? The only man I know that's been charged with assault with a laptop.
Oh, their dad's in prison.
Damnedest thing I ever saw.
Okay. You got any sisters?
Yeah.
What's their names?
Happy hour. Yeah, he's still talking. How many sisters this man got? You got like 6 brothers,
Right.
6 sisters.
And you got a
Sound like
girlfriend,
one of my
Dee.
family. All right, Carrie, don't worry about it, bud.
Who's your other baby mama?
Ashley.
Ashley what?
Ashley. I forgot her last name.
Where'd she stay?
I'm a big player out here.
Okay.
So, you know.
I see. You got babies coming out the
I was just to say this
woodwork.
man knocked up 2 women, don't even know their last names.
Where's Ashley stay?
Ashley, she stay on 40th in Glendale. No, yeah, Glendale. 14, 15.
Got babies
Okay.
with women, don't even know their last
How
name.
far did you go in school? You still going to school?
Yeah.
Where you go?
South Division.
What grade are you in?
8, 6, 7, 5, 3, 0, 9, 9.
You log in every day going to school?
Yeah.
That's a no.
I'm gonna tell you.
That's a no. I'll tell you that right now. We're not here. How about this? We'll make a deal. I'll be truthful with you.
Right?
It don't matter what the answers are. Just answer the question with the truth.
Yeah,
That's all I ask.
I was about to
All
say.
right. Yeah. So, last 24 hours, you do any marijuana, cocaine, heroin, weed, meth?
All of it.
Yes.
Just kidding.
Yes.
How long before you got arrested did you smoke weed?
Yes, sir.
This morning.
Like earlier?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Like, so I'm going to be needing some
Bunch of
because
hours
I'm an
prior
addict.
to? You're not high right now, are you?
Uh-uh.
All right.
Not anymore, motherfucker.
You done sober me up.
All right. We'll get into that in a minute. You drink any alcohol in the last 24 hours?
Mm.
Take any prescription drugs in the last 24 hours?
Mm.
Are you supposed to be taking any prescription drugs?
All right,
You're
all
not
right, all
taking?
right. So
You ever been
now
diagnosed with any type-
I know all of my fans, all of my viewers, everybody in chat. I'm sure y'all are aware of what's wrong with this situation here. Ajot, would you like to enlighten them?
Lawyer.
Yep, that's it. Where's my man's lawyer? Why haven't we already 20 minutes ago we should have asked for a lawyer? Am I wrong?
Just saying.
All right.
type of
As
mental
long as we
disorder?
all agree.
Okay. You understand what you're saying to me and what I'm saying to you? You can comprehend all that, right? All right. I'm gonna read you your rights. You ever had your constitutional rights read to you before?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'll read this again. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law.
Can and will.
And to have a lawyer present with you during questioning. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you at public expense before or during any questioning if you so wish. If you decide to answer questions now without a lawyer present, you have the right to stop the questioning and remain silent at any time you wish, and the right to ask for and have a lawyer at any time you wish,
That
including during.
means shut the fuck up.
Understand those rights, Mr. Lord? All right. You wanna
Shut the
continue
fuck
talking
up.
to me?
Shut the fuck up. You sit
You
right
hear
there.
the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Right. Do you hear the words that man just said? Can and will be used against you.
Right?
There is no possible opportunity that comes out of this conversation benefiting you because it will be used against you if at all possible. Lawyer.
Facts.
Lawyer. I would like everybody together, all at the same. I would like to speak to my lawyer. Appoint me one of them things, unless I can make the phone call and he actually show up, because he don't get out of bed for no penny ante bullshit.
I'm no longer speaking until my lawyer is present.
That old fifth. Good one.
So if I have some questions, I can ask you, to clarify things. Are you willing to do that?
I'm gonna say that.
Okay, sounds good.
I'm on my baby mama's right.
Mm-hmm.
My nigga picked me up. We just riding around.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know her. So cops came behind us.
Yeah.
Facts detected in chat. That is accurate.
He let me drive.
That's absolutely accurate.
Hard drive.
We get some of that speedy trial action going on too.
The cops was behind us, so and that's when I was driving reckless.
You were driving reckless, you said?
Yeah.
So you were driving during this whole ordeal?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So who were your guys that were with you?
And then he got in the driving side, and then he started tipping.
Thought you were driving.
Yeah, I was driving. Then they got away with the cops. Then the cops found us again. Then that's when we crashed.
Who crashed?
I don't remember his name.
All right. So here in a few minutes, this is all going to get very, very confusing. And about the time the guy here has a limit with how much confusion he's going to tolerate during this conversation. And I suspect this kid is trying to be clear, but there is a language barrier between hoodlum and cop. Like they're hearing the same words, but it's not coming across.
It's RNFJ.
RNFJ?
Yeah.
What's that mean?
He is his Facebook name.
That's his Facebook name?
Yeah.
How you know him?
That's my nigga from the low.
So where were you when the car crashed?
In the passenger side.
How'd you get out the car?
The window.
So after you jump out the car, what do?
Start running, but I gave up because I got 2 babies on the way. And one of the officers shot me. So
I start running.
I was trying to turn myself in.
I was running. Not fast enough. He took like 10 steps, stopped with shit. The cops gonna shoot my ass. I'll lay down right here, squeal like a little schoolgirl. That's what I'm gonna do. It's a pretty good plan as far as I've been able to determine.
A long time ago for what?
I don't know.
It looks like a 6x6 room, man. Maybe 10x10.
So walk me through this. All right. Well, let's break this down. All right.
It is
You're at
tiny.
your baby mama's house. Who picks you up?
My nigga.
Who's that?
Well, keep in mind, Tiffany, homie got picked up like 3 days ago for some other crap. He just got out and immediately got caught up in some hood rat shit. So he's been here before. This is not unusual for him. He doesn't seem to be panicking. Hell, he's taking it all in stride as far as I can tell. I mean, do you think that man's telling the truth to the best of his ability?
Probably.
He's omitting facts, that's for sure, like not knowing what things mean and stuff. Like, I don't know, it's just some letters. That's his Facebook handle, that kind of stuff. Like, I don't know my baby mama's last name type crap, but he seems fairly honest to me. What's up, Karma's pimp?
Karma's pimp.
Actually, you might have to get the gold trophy of the night. I don't know. We'll see who else shows up.
Jay. What do you guys call him?
RJ.
RJ? Is that RNFJ?
Mm-hmm.
That's his Facebook name?
Mm-hmm.
What else do they call him?
Jay.
They call him Lil J? Or no? Just J.
And they
J,
stuck
Lil
him,
J.
and they stuck him in there with a couple of big old corn-fed white boys. Like, tell me that's not an intimidation tactic. I mean, it's got to be, right? Kid should be afraid, but he doesn't really seem to be. He looks like he's out, having lunch with a couple of buddies. To be honest, I mean, he is kind of hugging on himself and looking a little intimidated, but his pulse hasn't gotten above 73, as far as I can tell.
Hey, where you know him from?
The Lawrence.
How long you know?
One time.
Who was driving the car when they picked you up? Who else was in the car?
Oh, it does. You.
I had not noticed that.
I don't know.
You don't know him. So they pick you up and then you start driving the car. All right. When you get into before you get into the car,
finger licking good.
You have a gun on you? Where'd that gun
To
come
get
from?
you some of them gator tail buffalo wings. I don't know where they found the buffaloes with wings, but God, I'd love to hunt one of those things.
Oh, okay. You need to like I said before. You tell me the truth, I tell you the truth. Yeah, that's all right. So there's just not guns falling out of the sky.
No, you know how you beat cars, like take the keyness. That's the way it was.
Take a what? Can you explain that to me? I don't understand.
You know how you beat cars, take the key ignition out, and then turn it on?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like it was somebody else's car.
So you knew the car was stolen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it was the key ignition outside.
So the whole ignition was out of the car when you got into it, and so you knew it was stolen. Yeah. You knew it wasn't their car, everything like that. Yeah. Okay. So, because that car isn't a push button start?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I didn't see the car, so that's why I'm asking. So RJ or J or whatever, and then some guy you don't know. Mm-hmm. Okay. Who's this?
My baby mama.
Jay.
That's Jay? All right. So you're saying he was driving the car when he came to pick you up? Mm-hmm. And you don't know the other guy? Mm-hmm. So he was with you the entire time? Mm-hmm. Okay. So then you start driving him from your baby mama's house. Mm-hmm. Okay. When do you become in possession of a firearm?
Just today.
Where?
Oh my Lord.
You said where?
Yeah, where, dude? Like the location from which you got the firearm.
Where'd you get that gun from?
Right.
The car.
Where was it in the car?
Underneath the seat.
Which seat?
Like, shut up.
One was in the holder.
What holder?
You know how you by the passenger seat.
The glove box?
Yeah.
That's not under the seat, bro.
Who had the other gun?
Jay.
So if you get in the driver's seat, how do you get a gun from under the passenger seat?
Hmm? I got
the. Huh?
Let me hold on.
Okay.
You know, the only thing this man hadn't happened yet was A, I didn't do nothing, and B, what had happened was.
Right?
I think he'd be doing better if he busted out one good old fashioned what had happened was. At least one, I didn't do nothing. Oh, bother. There we go. Uh-oh. Okay, I think we're back. Fantastic.
Driving, and the police get behind you.
Yeah.
Right?
They made a U-turn.
Okay, they make a U-turn. They get behind you. What do you think right at that point? What's your thought process right then?
We see I was getting the gun, and I was going to impress the girl.
How would you go to jail?
And have another baby mama.
Because we was in the study.
Okay. Plus what?
The guns too.
Okay. So then what do you do?
Yeah, no, he has himself wrapped up like a self hug and an extremely intense self soothing gesture. You are correct. This is typically a sign of someone who wants to keep something secret, although what that secret might be might impress you. Because typically, or at least when dealing with largely honest people, they're just going to not say that thing. But it's easy to get them to say it because they're thinking constantly, don't say it, don't say it, don't say it. So they're fixing to unravel this kid, and it gets hilarious from what I understand. This was sent to me by somebody who was like, you need to check this one out. And I watched about 10 minutes of it, and I was like, okay, I know how to do this.
How fast do you think you drove? How fast do you think? 100? 120?
No, not that fast.
How fast?
Because I wasn't really driving all the way.
I wasn't driving all the way.
What?
He got in drives.
All right. So as I understand it, he drove from his baby mama's house to where they picked up this RNJNPFC dude, whoever that is. And then he was driving from there to the location of the crash, and they beat the ambulance by about 15 minutes.
So you guys are doing 90 miles an hour and you guys switch seats is what you're trying to say?
No, I did 15. He did like I jumped across. He jumped in drives.
Why?
Because I don't really do the streets.
What?
I don't really be in the streets.
Okay.
When did the supposed vehicle, the seat switch?
Huh?
You're claiming that you switch seats. And all of a sudden you magically come in the passenger seat. How does that happen?
Like I just switched seats, jumped and switched seats.
Why?
With the car driving. You guys stop and do it?
No, we kept on.
Okay. With the police chasing you.
Hurry up and switch, so our car was going faster.
When did you guys do that?
As soon as the cops was behind us. As soon as like they made you, that was way.
Why would you switch seats?
Cause I don't really do streets.
What does that mean?
Like be in the streets. I stay with my mama or my girlfriend. See, you could tell. I went to jail when I was 16 over somebody's gun. I took their place and went to jail. You could go back to way to detention.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I took somebody's place and I beat their case too.
Okay. So, all right. So you guys ended up crashing or whatever. You hop out of the car, you start running. Where do you run to?
By the church.
Okay. What do you do by the church?
First I prayed, then I did the gun.
Why you run to the church? That church I prayed, man. Like, what the heck? That makes this checks out. I mean, if you got nothing else you can do, oh Lord, just go ahead and pray. It can't hurt, right?
You prayed then and what?
I prayed, then I do the gun, then I put my hands up and.
Okay. So you go by the church. Are you just standing on the sidewalk by the church, or where do you go?
By the bushes.
Okay.
Cops was then all the cops was like, get your black guys down, fire, shoot your eyes.
So what happens then?
Being racist. Huh?
So what happened?
I think he's
when
19.
You're on the ground, when you're by the bush.
That was in the muted
what
part
happens
of
with the gun?
That was in the muted part of the information earlier that we didn't actually get. But if my memory serves, he's 19 at this point, but he'll be like almost 21 before he goes to any kind of trial.
I was trying to take the gun out.
Yeah.
So I could throw that one.
Okay. And then what happened?
To the cops.
Okay.
By his foot.
What happened when you tried pulling the gun out?
I ain't trying to put the gun out.
Well, you said you were trying to pull it out of your pants.
Yeah, I was trying to put the gun on my pants.
And then what happened with the gun?
And I threw it.
What happened?
The cops picked.
Okay. When you had a gun,
I threw it by their feet.
how did the shot go off?
Checking on my pants.
So you had it in your pants still when the shot went off when they fired?
Like when I tried to go like this, the gun went off, but the cops shot at me. I was like, I ain't like shoot on purpose because I know cops. I don't shoot at cops.
Welcome
I
in,
don't shoot
Nez
at
Lover.
people,
Good to see
period.
you.
Okay. Number one, you have a gun on you that you're fleeing from the police. Number two, you pull the gun out and fire a shot at the police. What do you think's going to happen?
I ain't fired a shot at the police.
You had the gun. When you had the gun, did the gun go off?
No, I had it like this. I had it like this, and I threw it.
But the gun went off.
It doesn't go off by itself.
It went off by because they ain't had no safety on it.
That's another felony, bro.
So the gun went off in your hand, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So you knew that, and then you said the cop shot at you.
I was nervous, and I was trying to get out my pants so I could throw it because the cops were shooting at me.
Well, the cops didn't start shooting at you
That
until
was
your gun went off.
No, that was like, black motherfucker, get your ass on the ground. Then they start shooting, and then I threw the gun.
Okay. So
why would you do that?
I got scared. I got two babies on the way, so I'm gonna throw the gun.
Why don't you just put your hands up in the air?
I did put my hands up in the air.
No, you didn't. You took the gun out of your pants.
Because they said you got a gun.
Why did you do that?
Because I'm gonna listen to the officers.
They didn't say take the gun out of your pants, did they?
I was gonna take it out anyways. Then then the there says he got a gun on him. He got a gun. I said I'm gonna take it out. I'm gonna take it out. And I threw it right here by his foot. They got flashlights on him.
So there's a bunch of police chasing you. You crash. You run. And when the police are telling you to get on the ground, you pull a gun out.
Yeah, try to throw it to him.
Do you think that's a good idea to pull a gun out when when cops have guns pointed at you? Do you think it's a good idea to have your finger on the trigger and pull a gun out when the cops have guns pointed at you?
Yeah, I'm gangster. I'm gonna be popping caps and splitting wigs, boss.
You're lucky you didn't get hit.
I don't know, man. Cops be stormtroopers.
You are lucky to be alive right now, my friend.
That is true.
You keep playing these gun games, not just with the police, but with everybody. We have a record number of homicides this year. That's all we do. Homicides. You would have been another one.
Yeah, and if I'd have got my gun out a little quicker, there'd be 4 more on my rap sheet. I'm sorry, I just don't have a whole lot of faith in this kid as far as like decision-making abilities. Stolen car, knocked up girlfriend, another girlfriend. Don't know nobody's last name. Never met anybody in his whole life who worked by a last name at all. What was it? Oh, yeah. He got a Glock with a switch on it. No safety. That's like 19 felonies, homies, done stacked up. 20. What's up, Brooklyn chick? Welcome in. Haven't seen you in a minute. I've been busy. This dude's future is definitely in question.
You think it's so cool to roll around with a gun and run from the police? We're going to go and tell your mom, Christina, one day that you're no longer living because you want to try to be cool and do all this stuff and be the tough guy, and you're going to end up dead. That's a fact.
I'm going to end up dead because you shoot
every day in this city. Pulling guns out on the police ain't going to get you nothing but getting shot.
On the police.
Might be cool on Facebook, put your photos up. Ooh, look at my gun. Ooh, look at me, I'm a badass.
Yeah, man, that's what I said. I was telling all my friends that'd be cool as hell. We could get all the glack. We take all the pictures and put them up on our Instagram. We'd be famous. But at least he knew the plan. Understood the assignment.
But in the real world, when the rubber meets the road, It's going to come back and haunt you. Just telling you facts.
What's up, Queen Bird? Good to see you. Welcome in.
You understand that? So if you don't change your life, it's not going to be very long.
I am gonna change my life.
Well, you didn't change your life from the last time either, so that'll be, if I don't see you
Turn it
again,
over a new leaf today, boss.
But if I do see you, it'll probably be because it's another bad thing.
That's why.
You know what I mean?
That's why.
You say you got all these kids and everything like that. Where are you going to work to support these kids? Huh? What are you going to do to support your children that you're expecting?
I was gonna work at McDonald's.
Okay. At least you got a plan. That's what you got to think about. Not running the streets and stolen cars and pulling guns and having guns and everything.
Yeah, I got the market quartered. See, I got a brand new service at the McDonald's drive-through window. We're gonna be selling that hard right out there with every time we say the milkshake machine is broken, that's actually code to let you know you can get that hard.
Everything like that. Does anyone ever talk to you like this? Does anyone ever give you insight into what reality is?
I really got family, like all my family died, all my grannies.
Why aren't you with mom anymore?
Because she doing drugs.
Okay.
So I live with my girl.
Okay.
And how long you know your girl?
2 months.
It's not a long time. And now you're gonna have a baby with her? You ever take a step back and say, I'm not living by any plan at all. I'm just kind of flying by the seat of my pants.
I just found them.
So when you come around the corner, you're by the church. Where exactly are you?
By the bush.
By the bush. In front of the bush, behind the bush, side of the bush, inside the bush? Behind the bush. Why were you behind the bush?
Because I got scared. I was crying for me. And
why? What are you afraid of? Getting arrested? Yeah. Is that why you ran? Because you don't want to get arrested? And you damn sure don't want to get arrested with a gun on you, right? So what did you do?
So I thought about the cops. Tried to take it out my
But in the process of doing so, what did you do?
I was crying.
That's what you did.
When I was crying and praying, I started taking out my pockets and I thought a cop, but the gun went.
When did it actually go off? Where was it?
Like when I was trying to take out my pocket, it went off and I threw it.
Where's your pocket?
I had shorts on underneath this. They got my shorts.
So they're in your shorts?
Did it go off in your short, or did it go off when it was outside your shorts?
When it went out, it went off. Then I heard it through. I said, I ain't shoot it.
We did.
You did.
But no, look.
What if you would have killed a cop?
No.
What if you, when you pulled that gun out and you shot that gun, what if we had a dead cop out there right now? Hey, I'm just saying, you're playing with guns like that. How would you feel if you just killed a cop because you think you're tough? Because you're running around with guns and stolen cars.
Well, I'd get a lot of more cred in prison when I get there.
You could have. Right?
Could have shot at somebody standing on the sidewalk, had nothing to do with it. A car that was passing by, it's a busy street. You could have shot a lot of people.
How would you feel if you killed someone?
I feel sorry because I never will kill anybody.
So why are you playing with guns?
Because it's cool looking on Instagram.
Because somebody was out there shooting at us.
When?
Earlier today.
Okay. So when did you get that gun?
He let me hold it.
When?
Who?
Huh? I want to go get a supercut of this guy saying huh every single time.
Don't shrug your shoulders. When did you get that gun?
Today? It was in the seat. They found it in the car.
So who was shooting at you?
Some random people.
Where?
It was it was like one of our ops who killed our friend.
Who got killed?
They tried to kill us for no reason.
Who got killed?
Malik. The one.
Malik who?
Things that never happened for 100, Alex.
He got killed over there.
Over there where?
27. He got shot.
27th and what?
He was just sitting in his mom's car and he got shot.
When was that?
I think they're all guilty.
Last 2 months ago.
27th
and what?
Amen, sister. Welcome in, Trinity Trails Ninja. Good to see you.
27.
Long time no see, bud.
Atkinson?
Yeah.
27th and Atkinson.
No, I'm in Hampton. Right at McDonald's. At laundromat.
27th in Capitol?
Mm-hmm. He got shot, Malik.
Malik?
Yeah.
What do you know about that?
And my nigga got jumped.
What does that mean?
Huh?
What does that mean?
They try to come after us. They try to kill us.
Who did?
Hey, Mark Schumann. How you doing?
Who?
Did I just get got? I don't know.
How do you know they have anything to do with this Malik thing?
No, they coming after Jay.
Why are they coming after Jay?
I don't know.
What did Jay do that everyone's coming after Jay?
Because they think that they big bad in the streets. So they killing
Who is big bad in the streets?
They killing every nigga from the loans.
Who is that?
I don't know their names. I was just scared.
So you mean to tell me someone shoots at you earlier that wants to kill Jay and you?
Mm-hmm.
Why do they want to kill you?
I don't know, because I'm with him.
So you think it's a good idea to go back and be with him in a stolen car again? What's your thought process?
He was y'all dropping you off at home. And that's when the cops turned around.
But you left the house.
Yeah. It was just riding around. And the cops came making U-turn.
Mm-hmm.
What time did you leave your house initially?
Like at
5 p.m.?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the first time you left the house there today?
Mm-hmm.
So when did you get shot at?
Going towards when the officers was making a U-turn, but
you got shot at right before the police chased you?
Way on 27 by that
27th and what?
Food store by the library. 27.
You got shot at on 27th and Center?
Yes. Yes, sir.
You were driving?
And yes, sir. I left them.
You left who?
The niggas who shot us was 2 cars deep.
2 cars deep.
So if you saw a squad, why wouldn't you say, hey, police, we just got shot at?
He was driving a stolen car. And he had a bunch of guns on him.
I'm asking you. Why didn't you do that?
Cause how we gonna do that? I didn't know that was a stolen until I found out.
Cause I ain't no snitch.
I was getting away from them.
You said you knew it when you got in the car. It's not that hard to figure out. You knew it was stolen when you got into it because you said the ignition was missing.
The ignition was missing.
So you didn't get into the car when you got shot at. So that's neither here nor there. I don't care about the car being stolen right now. Okay? I'm asking you why, if you're getting shot at, you think someone's trying to kill you. Who cares about a stolen car? Would you rather be caught with a stolen car or be in a grave?
Right? No, my homie, listen, as I understand it, he had gotten into some trouble a couple of days ago, a week or so, had just gotten out of the lockup. He leaves, goes home, hooks up with his buddies, got a stolen car, then goes pick up some chicks, get involved in a shooting, and after the shooting, they swap seats, and that's around the time the cops show up. But as soon as they saw the cops, they swapped seats, and all of a sudden, this other guy that the folks are shooting at are running, and he's just trying to get through this without revealing too much information so them ops don't come back and cap him in the back of the wig, you know? Does that cover it? Anybody who's been here long enough to understand is that pretty good? I think that's a pretty good cover of it. I think.
You call it a stolen car?
Okay. So You see a squad, you just got shot at, and you're like, holy crap, we need to get away from these guys. There's the police. Normal people don't shoot at people where the police are at. Maybe we should stop and tell the police, hey, just got shot at, because that's a pretty big deal. But instead, you flee from the police, run with a gun, fire a shot off, get shot at by the police. You know, you see what I'm saying? To kind of
maybe
roll down the hill.
Shit, I don't know.
You fired a shot, right?
Yeah, it hit the garage.
Hit the what?
When I said take out my pocket, it hit the garage.
So by your logic,
I told
the police didn't shoot at you either, did they?
They was about to.
Did they? Yes or no?
They was about to. I heard gunshots from the other side, like one of my niggas got shot at or something.
So you don't think that the police shot at you? The police didn't shoot at you?
Almost.
What do you mean almost?
Like, he said he was almost about to shoot me. He said he was really close, almost about to shoot me.
So you guys are so you think that both of you are just firing off rounds?
Your guns just magically go off by themselves and...
Well, when you got a Glock with a switch and an 1/8 of a pound trigger pull, yeah, you could drop that sucker to those spray.
I was just holding it.
Well, why do you have it then?
Just holding it.
You understand that a gun's a danger?
I wasn't in possession of that gun. I was just holding it. These ain't my pants. They my friend's pants.
What? Do you understand that it can kill somebody? Yes or no?
Yeah.
You understand a gun can kill somebody if fired? Yes or no? A gun, if I just put it out on the desk like that, it's not going to do anything to anybody.
Right? No, I can't tell you how many times I've had to tell that to Europeans who are like, well, I just don't believe in guns at all. Let me tell you how it works, bro. The gun itself is not the problem. You can take those guns, set them around your dinner table, and leave them there, and provided no third party shows up and messes with it or nobody knocks it over, you can load them, turn the safety off, and just lay them there on the table. They'll be just fine provided nobody touches them. They will sit there from now to the cold death of the universe and do nothing but sit there. It takes a deranged individual to pick one up and utilize it in an aggressive manner towards another human. So my guns believe in you, I guess.
Can do about as much damage as that notebook is going to do. Nothing. Because nobody operates the gun when it's sitting on the table. But if you take that gun, you put it in your hand, and you put your finger on the trigger, it will go off. Correct? You follow me so far? So if you are playing around with a gun, you claim you don't know what you're doing, what prevents you from putting your finger inside the trigger guard and pulling the trigger?
He cut it off and ain't got no trigger guard. It was slowing him down on his draw. You know, because he's one of those brilliant people that play with guns. Nobody should play with guns at all. You know, as a child, even with a toy gun, I would get my ass strapped if I pointed it at somebody. And I mean like a bright orange plastic stopper dart pistol that had the little spring in it. I'm talking any adult that saw it happen would immediately adjust that shit right then. You don't point guns at people. And to this day, if I am in possession of a gun and that gun is loaded and someone wants to take it from me and I'm going to give it to them, I will remove the bullets, take the one out of the chamber, hand them the rounds, then show them that it's clear 3 times. I will state it out loud 3 times. This chamber is clear. This gun is unloaded. This is an empty gun. And then I'll hand it to them. And after that, it's not my responsibility. I did not just hand a person an empty gun, a loaded gun. That did not happen. It can't happen. 3 checks, triple check. What's up, Smoking Auditor? Good to see you, bud. Starting to worry about you. Gonna come hunt you down in Ohio.
It's about freaking time, shit.
He's late as hell, dude.
Just kidding.
You know, I got a great idea for him, and I'm gonna try to figure out a way to make it happen. His channel's name is the Smoking Auditor, right? I want him to go and dig up cop scenes in different people's shorts and do a reaction to them where he smokes them up, like picks on their shoes, the way they're wearing their uniform, how their hat's sitting, how their hair's cut, what kind of funny eyes they got, that kind of stuff. He's just got to work out a method of how to make that deliverable in less than 15, 20 seconds.
Hey, when are we supposed to do that challenge?
It's an open challenge. I've
Okay.
even got some of my stuff set up for it.
Okay.
Right? Like,
Hell
I
yeah.
just haven't done it yet.
I'm
But
gonna do it.
Orb Puff, at Orb Puff over here, she wants 60 seconds of classic Kubrick stare into the camera, like a full on.
Oh, I got you. I've been practicing.
Right? Yeah. So and anybody can join. You just have to at Orb Puff the title, and do it quickly because Shorts is fixing to eliminate that shit from working. I don't even think they're going to show up in mentions.
That gun don't go off without your finger on the trigger. Guns don't go off until you pull the trigger. They're made that.
What's up, Liz?
You can drop a gun on the ground, it ain't gonna go off. They just don't go off, pull them out of your pants.
I was pulling it off.
That's
With your finger on the trigger then.
Like my hands was nervous.
Well, did you mean to try to kill that cop?
No.
What was your intention?
I was paying on my pants. The bullet hit the garage.
The garage?
The garage.
How do you know it hit
The grass.
The
It went
grass.
straight down.
How do you know that?
I could see it. I was trying to help. My hands is nervous. I was trying to help it get out my pants.
Why would you do that when you know the cops are right there? Do you know that if they see a weapon in your hand and they're telling you to drop the gun, you don't drop the gun? Guess what happens next?
Well, the main thing is you're standing there, the gun is in your pants, the police are chasing you, you reach in your pocket, start pulling the gun out.
No, I'm already right there by the bush.
Right. But you don't have the gun out when you're running, do you?
Mm-mm.
So the cops are chasing you.
I was dizzy running.
Okay. But you're not understanding what we're saying. You don't have a gun in your hand.
Are you understanding the words that are coming out of my mouth?
I'm not sure anybody in this room understands what went on a little while ago. I'm certain the officers have no idea what the hell just happened. No clue. This kid only sees it from his own perspective. And he was like, I was just trying to take the gun out of my pants. That's called drawing a weapon. That's why the cop shot at you specifically. You're pretty sure you might have got away with it if you stuck your head straight up, maybe laid down flat on your face and then just prayed. You were already at a church and you was already praying. Hey man, once you've done everything you can, praying is about the only thing you got left.
Yeah.
So, and like I said before, it won't hurt.
You hide behind a bush. Now you reach into your pants and start pulling a gun out.
Because I was trying to just give up because there's plenty of cops.
Okay. I'm telling you that is the dumbest move you could ever make. You don't have a gun in your hand.
No, the dumbest move was talking to y'all.
Now.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're not
No,
wrong.
I'm not wrong.
But there was a few dumb decisions made before that one that might qualify as, at least a high top 10. This is gonna require layers like an onion or an ogre.
Yeah. Or an ogre.
My man has made some serious errors in life to bring him to this point. And apparently he did it all in the last 30 days.
It's crazy.
You're creating a deadly force situation. Because now you're arming yourself and pulling a gun out with the police chasing after you. I'm just telling you the facts, man. Trying to save your life next time. Because you do that again, it may not have the same results. I'm not here to yell at you or anything. I'm trying to teach you something.
All right, I'm straight freaking out. What the fuck? Hey, are we keeping the swine in line with that? I hear you, baby. That's right. You got to have a good chew toy around for an oral fixation.
I mean,
to save your life. Stop playing with guns. Stop carrying them. If you don't know what the hell you're doing with them.
This sounds like a good point for the stop breaking the law, asshole.
right?
Just quit it. be much better off. That's what I keep telling Emma. I'm like, Em, come on, honey, look. No, you can't go turn yourself into the cops with 5 felonies in your bag. That is a horrible idea. I just sent her the message, confused Sasquatch noises. I'm like, what are you talking about, honey?
I mean, she might as well join me in smoking auto with my fake drugs and his,
Right? Dude.
bloody clothes.
Right? Fake drugs, bloody clothing, actual weapon.
Yeah.
Standing there with an axe and a camera. With those rods sticking out of it. No, I'm not. No, don't. None of this. None of this. Disavow. Do not anyone do this. Even though it would be sketchy. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the killer clown thing that's been going on, but you know, you do you in Ohio, whatever that shit is y'all are doing.
Halloween is coming.
This one of them bitches starts prepping for Halloween October 30, like freaking August 1st. Right, the very next day, this bitch is like, next year we gonna do Halloween again.
Usually after my birthday. My birthday's September 6th. So after that, after I have that, then I'm like, okay, Halloween.
Right, I dig Halloween. I've got a couple of different things I do depending on what type of year I had.
Yeah.
Oh no, she's here. She's come to fuss at me. Are you fussing at me?
Yes, I told you I was flipping tables mad. I'm not playing.
I hear you. Well, we had a rogue mod situation take place. I went through and thinned the fucking herd.
How the fuck did I end up on the chopping block? Bro, come on.
I took out like 70% of the people that were modded in my channel. It wasn't just you. I think Tails got took out. I think a whole bunch of people. What's Truth's no longer modded. A whole bunch of people. It wasn't just you. The world's tiniest violin. That's right. Now we'll figure it out. I just didn't know where the fuck.
Oh yeah.
To you didn't know what was going on and was like, I have no idea who did this. So anybody that was doubtful about got removed.
OMG. So we'll talk. Yeah, I guess we'll talk more about that later. But
gotta talk about that backstage. You don't.
If you want to,
yeah.
I mean, we just picked up 2 people watching. Apparently, they like the drama. But you know how many shits I give about that?
No, zero.
Leave them alone. They're not toys. All it's going to lead you to is your death. That is a fact.
Oh, that part.
You understand me?
Say what?
So
hold on.
Hold
Instead of screaming at me.
No.
I can hear.
It's a video, honey. You're not looking at the screen, are you? That is a video that I'm playing.
Yeah, and I'm listening to it, and there's a weird echo because it's so loud. I'm like, why is he screaming? I've been in jail where it's extremely quiet in there. They are not fucking around at the jail that I was in there. Some of them COs are Nazis. I'm just saying. And I mean that in like the nicest and non-anti-Semitic way, okay? Literally. They are, though. Thank you. It's been hard, man. The struggle wagon's real. I'm just saying.
Yes, ma'am.
Shoot, man.
No.
Not literally. You love me. You love me.
I don't kill people for like random reasons.
I
gotta have a real reason. Like it can't be just because I don't know you're upset with me or
Look
something.
at this. Those masks. They still make us wear masks. Can you believe that?
Honey, did you know that I was in the middle of a show?
No.
No, you didn't.
I literally don't care. I'm literally the most rudest and selfish, self-centered person I think you get involved with. I don't know why you fuck with me sometimes.
Because you're hilarious. But we've got this interview taking place over here where they're interrogating this dude who doesn't know how the gun got in his pocket, doesn't know how he changed seats when the cops showed up and people shot at him, but the cops didn't see it, and he doesn't know exactly how any of this happened. But he has all of the details flawless. He was there.
Right.
He doesn't know. But he threw it.
And let me guess, he's not on drugs?
There was definitely some rock involved. I just about promise you that he had some hard on him or something like that. I'm just guessing, but that does seem to be the type of hood rattery he was up to. I mean, he was in a stolen car with stolen guns, with a Glock with a switch on it, and no safety. Like, my man was going up the road down the river, like, and it wasn't grandma's house.
And
Deep,
what was with the two baby mamas?
Prison.
2 baby mamas. Is
2 baby mamas you don't know the last name of.
Oh wow! Wow.
All right, so from what I understand, like, I haven't watched the whole thing, but from what I understand, these officers are fixing to get upset with the kid about this really wild story that he's been telling, and it's supposed to get funny. In fact, the video is the funniest. What is it? The funniest officer ever, or something like that.
Oh, okay. Okay, now that I'm up to speed.
It's hilarious. That's the name of it. This detective is hilarious. All right.
Okay.
So moving on, right?
Right. Moving on. Now that Emma's up to speed.
Don't know what to do, or end up killing someone that you didn't intend to do. Keep this out. Keep doing this. Because one day it will end up very badly for you. We see it all the time. Day in and day out. Since you don't have anyone else to explain this to you, I will take the opportunity right now. Because number one, the officer doesn't want to shoot and kill anyone. The officer doesn't want to shoot at people. People make decisions that put themselves in a situation to make an officer do what they need to do to save their own lives. You created a situation to where they determined that deadly force was necessary by you pulling a gun out and firing a round off. How the hell are we supposed to know that it wasn't intentional? You're running from the police and then you up a gun on them?
That's the wrong link, Smoking Auditor. That's my link.
Dumb.
Oh, wait, no, I guess it is your link. Damn it, woman. Hold on. Why do you have your channel name changed to Sasquatch Pet?
That was like so last season. Where have you been?
Well, I did notice that apparently if you use @channel name handle and you do it correctly, if they change their name later, it changes the title of it. So I'm like scrolling along and it's like Sasquatch Shills, Caucasian Sasquatch Pet. I'm like, that's just evil. That is some of the greatest trollery I've ever encountered. And when I realized that, I sat there and I'm like, what do I do? Do I hide this? Do I leave it out? Do I show it to my wife and giggle maniacally? What do I do here? What do I do?
I am the devil.
I just left it up. It was like, well, I mean, like, all right, so.
Oh my gosh! Did it take you? How long did it take you to figure it out? I think that, man. And this is what's funny. So it was like about 3 or 4 days before I was about to get out, and I was sitting there. I was like, "What was that damn channel handle name again?" I know it's something fucking maniacal. And I was like, "Was it Baby Sasquatch? Was it Baby Sasquatch Pet? Like, what was it?"
Channel name right. You got the capitalizations in the right place and everything. That's just weird. That is strange.
And then, so literally just before I saw the link, I was explaining to someone who is literally completely never seen what I do, like from a behind the scenes standpoint. And I have this cast to the TV right here in front of me so that you can see it better instead of everybody hovering over my phone. And I'm like, so this is me. That's why at one point you'll see it saying, it says here, LOL. So I'm checking and explaining the different reasons for these other accounts. And it's like, it is diabolical trollery at its finest when I sit here and I'm laying it out for you as I am now. And I then revel in like this sick little demonic genius that it is without even realizing that I did that. I'm the devil.
X to doubt. X and chat to doubt she's the devil.
Look at the eyeballs.
They're watching.
I'm going to throttle back. Just wait. I'll come up with something even more like, what is wrong with her?
I have no idea.
This is all because of my grandchildren. This is this thing that I have built up in my head because I'm cuckoo like that, and I'm gonna like change their world and show them how like their grandma like overcomes so much freaking trauma.
Hey, honey.
Like, and steer them clear of like stupid shit so they don't end up like me.
Hey. How you doing? You okay?
Yeah.
I'll tell you a secret.
Yeah.
I'm in the video. We're doing this reaction video here. Can you see the video?
I just can't. No. Well, yeah, now because it's cutting in. Yeah. So.
Okay. So I'm gonna hit play on this video again. We're gonna try to get through it in the next 30 minutes. All right. Limited amount of time.
You did that.
Go. This is a key moment for you right now.
What's up, Mexican Log here? Good to see you, bud.
This is your life you're dealing with. If you truly care about these kids that you have coming, you need to do something. It's called change your life and who you hang out with. Because if you continue to hang out with someone that you know that people want to kill, they shoot at him, they miss him, they hit you. What are you going to say? Nothing, because you'll be dead.
Your device is disconnected.
You want to be in your kids' lives?
Hold up. Your device is disconnected. It's just sitting there saying devices are not connected. So
doesn't seem like it with your actions. So what I would hope you do is change what you do, how you do it. You know? Because the only person that can help you is you. I can't help you. You can get arrested 30 times. It's not going to change you. It's just going to keep you incarcerated. You need to want to change. You need to make the decision on who you hang out with. You make the decision on what cars you get into. You make the decision if you can get pulled over by the police because you have a license and it's a legit car. You make a decision to flee from the police. You make the decision to hold on to a gun. How cool is it now that you're sitting here? You know what you're arrested for? Attempt first-degree intentional homicide. Fleeing. Recklessly endangering safety. That's a situation you created. And you can't put that on anyone else. Because it was you. There's video of it. When do you think you're going to see your kids again? Do you care?
I do.
Well, if you get charged with all that, you ain't going to be seeing them for a while. So was this one night of trying to be cool and ride around the Stoli worth it? What do you think it's worth? 20 years of your life? 30 years of your life? That's what being cool may end up being.
That is accurate.
See how cool it is? See how bad it is? Did you Facebook Live it? Did you put it on Snapchat? Did you
Not yet. It's still in my phone.
That's what people usually do. I'm just asking. I'm sure you see it. You see it all the time. If you're on social media. Stuff ends up bad, but I can't change the decisions that you make. I can't make the decisions for you. Only you can do that. Correct? Don't blame anyone else. Because you're the one that made those decisions. How many other stolen cars you been in?
That was that one.
Lie. We told you started at the beginning. Said you tell the truth. So.
I didn't get another story.
Today. How about in the past month?
Yeah.
Yeah, how many?
One.
Which one?
I don't remember.
My man should just say, well, you got me in a box.
I don't remember.
Were you driving that one?
No.
Who was?
Hmm.
Hmm?
Like, it was not mine.
Whose was it?
I just found it on the street.
And you drove it?
Yeah. Then it went out.
What do you mean it went out?
Like, it had a theft thing.
Hmm. So it had a theft thing. How'd you drive it?
Cause somebody actually locked it. Like, I actually locked the door.
What does that mean?
If you lock the door, no, if you open the door, that means like if you.
What does icy lock mean? What do you do?
So I went out the car.
What?
So I ran out the car because the car went off.
No. How did you get in the vehicle?
Window.
Window open, or you break it?
No, I didn't break it.
Magically disappear?
Or you always go through the window.
What does that mean?
So I went to the window.
Okay.
Dukes of Hazzard style? So what did you do to the window?
I didn't do nothing to the window. The windows are busted because I found it.
You found a car with a busted window.
Yeah. And that white car I found, he found.
You found it?
No, I ain't found it.
Where'd you find it?
On Sherman.
Sherman and what?
Sherman and Glendale, right behind Ashley house.
Ashley, your baby mama?
Mm-hmm.
When was that?
I was leaving her house and I found the car.
When?
We are living in Idiocracy. Literally living the script of Idiocracy. This is...
It was 2 days ago.
Okay. So did you drive that car to Ashley's house?
Mm-mm. I left her house with that car. It was already on.
So you've had that car for 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You've been driving that car for 3 days. Where have you been parking it?
On the street.
So you just leave it parked on the street? And then you can just start it whenever you want? So when you pull the ignition out, how do you start that car?
Spoon.
With a spoon? So Jay didn't bring that car to you today. You had that car, right? Okay. So you have that car. When do you go and get Jay?
In the morning.
Okay, so you and Jay are together since the morning. Who else is this other guy?
I don't know.
Whose friend is he?
Jay's.
Where was he in the car?
In the back.
Okay.
Well, that's the first I've heard of another guy.
And then Jay's in the front seat, you're driving. All right. So during that pursuit, you were the only one that was driving, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Jay never drove.
Mm-hmm.
So from the time the police took off, got behind you, till the time you crashed, you were driving that car, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Jay never drove that car.
Mm-hmm.
The dude in the back seat never drove that car. So that what you told us before was a lie. Okay. I appreciate that. See, that's understanding. We knew you were lying. It's just that you need to.
He just got tired of trying to keep track of what the hell was supposedly happening in the story. And he's just finally like, you know what? You got me. You got me in a box. I had a gun. I was driving a stolen car. I've had it for 3 days. Old Pookie and Jank were both with me, but they was in the back seat because they hardcore thugs. I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. Smoking Auditor is the one that always breaks down all the criminal shit for us. Let's let him tell us what's going on.
You need to be truthful with yourself. Like I said, I'm trying to help you out. I'm trying to make you make better decisions for your life. But the thing is, you need to be honest with yourself first. And you need to man up for when you're wrong. Just like anything. All right? You screwed up. This ain't just like, hey, I got an F on my test. But you man up like you did. You were the one fleeing from the police. I can tell you can't drive very well. I watched the video of the pursuit. You're hitting curves. You're doing all kinds of stuff. You're not a very good driver. I'm just being honest. Like I told you, I'd be honest with you if you're honest with me. I'm being honest with you. So now how do you feel that woman thinks that whose car that is, and now it's all jacked up? You got anything to say to her?
So I'm sorry.
Oh, hell, man, just spitball the damn thing. You see the circumstance. We have a young black man in an interrogation room with two very large white cops who are talking to him about what took place yesterday afternoon when he was picked up in a stolen car with a Glock with a switch on it and a couple of other buddies that also had guns and probably some drugs. And we haven't heard anything about drugs. He has not copped to anything to do with drugs, just about hunting ops. And apparently he got shot at and they switched seats, but they never switched seats. And now he's confessed to Grand Theft Auto at least twice in the past month because he said something about getting rid of the stolen car he had earlier and then getting this car, which apparently he stole. So I think that's it. So how does this young gentleman, this young doctor, dreamer, lawyer, probably lawyer, honestly, how does he end up in the driver's seat of a stolen car with a Glock? How does this happen? Yeah, no, you can't shoot or drive, can you?
You destroyed the whole front end of that car crashing it. Don't say it's pink. You destroyed the whole front end. The ignition, that ain't no big deal. You probably caused $10,000-$15,000 worth of damage. You got $10,000 or $15,000 in your pocket? How are you going to pay this woman back? How are you going to pay the woman that owns the house over there with the damage you did to her yard and her fence and everything, crashing that car into it? You got another $3,000-$4,000 to pay her back?
Well, if y'all let me get back out on the street selling hard, I could probably whip that up in a couple of days, but not locked up in here. That's going to take a few months.
You got $25,000 to buy this woman a new car, so she has a new car that she bought recently?
Don't she got insurance?
So she has a nice car to be able to get to work? You see what this all entails? When you want to try to be cool. How'd you get out of the car after you crashed it?
Window.
So who got out the window first?
Yeah.
So he hopped out it's the passenger window, right? Why didn't you go out the door?
The door didn't even open.
Because of the crash? And you said you hit your head, right? What'd you hit your head on?
The steering wheel hard as a mud.
Didn't the airbag go off?
That's a lawsuit for the manufacturer, ain't it?
Well, but you're okay now, right?
Yeah. I don't think so. See,
oh, okay.
I suspect he may have some brain damage, officer. You see, 45 minutes ago when you read him his rights, he did not immediately ask for a lawyer. I think he has a concussion. He's clearly not thinking straight.
But you feel all right now?
My heart still hurt a little bit, but it's okay.
Yeah. But you went to the hospital, right? They checked you out. You didn't have any brain damage or anything like that?
They said I still had some in my head from when I got hit by a car when I was 10. So.
But that has nothing to do with last night.
So, Jay hops out, you hop out. Where was the gun when you crashed?
That's harsh. Like, don't you know this is a young dentist, a young true mind of America?
So you're riding around with the gun, like sitting on the seat by you?
Mm-mm. It was like right
between the center console and the seat? So when you crash, you actually grab the gun, hop out the car, and put the gun in your shorts?
No, wait, hold up. I'm tripping. The gun was already in my shorts.
Okay. Now
wait, hold on. You had a gun in your shorts and one under the seat and one in the glove box. And when you jumped out and ran, you grabbed the gun under the seat, and I guess gave it to your buddy who also got picked up with a gun. And you ran with the one that was in your shorts, and you couldn't get the gun in your shorts out until you shot it at the police. I'm very confused. I'm so confused with this whole situation. I'm pretty sure he's guilty of at least 9 felonies, probably closer to 14. Depending on what state he's in. I'm surprised he's alive, honestly. If he had a dog, I'm sure they would have shot it. What's up, Blue Unicorn? Are you still mountain fresh? It's good to see you, bud. Right? He was a future engineer, and he was just out ganking people for school supplies. Facts detected. See there, diversity is our strength.
let me ask you a question. This will be whether you're telling me the truth or not. When you were driving around, did you have that gun out the window of that car?
No. I was focusing driving.
Okay.
Before the police.
So when you go and you're buying a car and you're going on Facebook and you're buying a car, right? And anytime you're negotiating anything to do with a vehicle, you need to check the VIN number against the actual chassis number of the vehicle against the database of wrecked cars. There's this huge database out there, and it has all of your salvage title vehicles that are still functional, that were not crushed due to the accident they were involved in. And these are typically cars that have had their airbags deployed, and then you have some ganky chop shop stick in new airbags. You go out to a service lot somewhere and you chop a piece of steel out of a frame, you drag it back to the place, and you put this ID into that frame and you send it back out on the road because this one hasn't technically been totaled and the title and it's good. That one has been totaled and the title and it is a salvage title, but it's a 64 Mustang. What am I supposed to do about that? So you chop it out and you do a little bit of paperwork, something to do with Vermont. I'm not 100% sure on how all that works, but I'm pretty close, damn it. Karma's pimp. Wait. Well, I wasn't making suggestions. Y'all stop that. That's not.
Police were chasing you. Could that have been why you got shot at? Because you guys were pulling guns and pointing them out the window?
No, we didn't.
How many shots were fired at you, they claim, on 27th and Center?
4. That was right there.
Who are these people?
I don't know. Some niggas who killed my nigga. I've been cool since I was little.
You been what?
He wasn't even doing I've been sitting in his mama car.
So, were these guys in a car? Were they?
It was in a truck.
What kind of truck?
It was a CMT truck. It was gray.
A GMC?
Yes. And then,
CT truck. It was gray.
It was
a GMC? Yeah.
Tinted car too.
And they just started shooting. How'd they know it was you guys?
No, because you just got that vehicle, because they wouldn't have recognized you.
Yes, look, because they've been fake. Because like they know how I be driving.
No.
So
no, there's 600,000 people in the city. They're just not going to randomly see you.
And there's 10,000 people a day that drive like shit.
I'm not lying about
Accurate facts detected.
Well, seeing the mirror, right? Like, in my face. And no bullets gonna fly out of nowhere.
How are they gonna know who they're shooting at if they're in the rear view of your car?
Well, I wasn't even shooting no gun. That's the
I second that motion, Jeff.
I definitely ain't been no gun out the window.
Okay.
Wait, everybody check your bingo cards. Did he just say I didn't do nothing?
But that has nothing to do with last night.
So, Jay hops out, you hop out.
Much love, brother.
Where was the gun when you crashed?
On the seat.
What seat? What seat? Your seat?
Mm-hmm.
So you're riding around with the gun, like sitting on the seat by you?
Mm-mm. It was like right
between the center console and the seat? So when you crash, you actually grab the gun, hop out the car, and put the gun in your shorts?
No, wait, hold on. I'm tripping.
No, yet again, no.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. This is the fourth time this man has run this exact scenario by him. And every time he gets there, he goes, no, that's not what happened. But then he describes doing exactly that again. I'm very confused. Is anybody else confused by this kid? I'm sure he knows what happened. He just doesn't want to admit to it. So
now let me ask you a question. This will be whether you're telling me the truth or not. When you were driving around, did you have that gun out the window of that car?
No. I was focusing driving.
How about before the police were chasing you?
No.
You know, Tiff, it crossed my mind on several occasions that y'all could make a killer remix couple of channels. If y'all just go out there and do like TikTok dances all day and then rip content from his channel back to yours on a TikTok, nobody'd be able to say nothing about it because it is technically original content. You just gotta throw some graffiti up on it, right? And y'all could have had a free cameraman operating the entire industry. Hundreds of free. I'm sorry. I know that's not very I'm a retired troll and I try not to get involved in stuff like that. So when people are running into problems like that, my suggestion, as always, is to nip it like right out the gate, give them no play, do all the legal stuff, never admit to doing the legal stuff, and just make sure it's all official as hell from start to finish, front to back. Get a lawyer, do the whole freaking nine. It'll be worth the money because at the other end of it, if you ever have to do it again, you've already got the groundwork done with the lawyer and the law firm and anybody that you're going to be working with. And I know that sounds annoying, but at the same time, if you're going to be a shit poster on YouTube, someone will eventually take notice. That's going to happen, right? So eventually you'll pick up a handful of talented people. The trick is to create a community capable of not only recognizing the fallacy of these individuals, said fallacy of these individuals, but to surround yourself with people that won't propagate that bullshit and know the difference. And that's the hard part because people use clone accounts out here to try to make you look some kind of way. I've had a couple come doing shit and it was just lucky. I guess you could say it was lucky that I wasn't actually around for most of this. I had other business to tend to and just wasn't doing the YouTube thing. I come back, found out I'd said all kinds of heinous shit. And I was like, no, that didn't happen. You can believe that shit if you want to, but I'm not saying who done it. I'm not admitting that it had more of an effect than people asking me a question. Hey man, why do you do this? I ain't done that shit. Oh, okay. That was as far as it went. Anybody who took the time to ask got a straight answer out of me immediately, you know. But I disavow all such activities.
Could that have been why you got shot at? Because you guys were pulling guns and pointing them out the window?
No, we didn't.
How many shots?
Well, I get that you tried to ignore it. I understand why you couldn't. And I totally get the whole thing that happened. And I think y'all handled it as well as can be expected, especially given how deeply your privacy had been invaded, right? And how creepy that whole situation was, man. I'm not sure I could have been quite so cool. But I am in a totally different environment with an entirely different culture around me. And so if he had started doing that around here, he might have caught a BB in his eye from not me, but a different neighbor that don't like what's going on. And good luck trying to prosecute them. I mean, it's a small town, dude. We know everybody, and we know what you're up to. It's not the same culture, so I don't see something like that happening that way here. And I have a liquor store in my backyard, y'all. Like, no joke, full-on legal liquor store on the block right behind me. It's right there. I've never had any problem out of anything to do with those people. Not even random gunshots. It's really small town, folks.
Shots were fired at you, they claim, on 27th and Center.
Fuck. That was right there.
Who are these people?
I don't know. Some niggas who killed my nigga. I've been cool since I was little.
You been what?
He wasn't even doing nothing. I've been sitting in his mama car.
So, were these guys in a car? Were they?
It was in a truck.
What kind of truck?
It was a CMT truck.
But I still stand by my idea that you could have made an absolute killing off of TikToks. If y'all just got out there in a line and done a conga or something every afternoon at 2 and then went and ripped it from his channel and uploaded it to TikTok with a full explanation of where, how, what, when, where, and how, and all of it, the whole nine, just copy paste that shit. It would have been hilarious. I mean, y'all would have ended up being paid. I can't even imagine the clickbait titles. Super creepy creeper makes profitable TikTok off of, I don't know. There's so much clickbait that shit just writes for itself. It would be absolute gold on TikTok. Right? I don't know. Maybe I'm just a psychopath and maybe a sociopath or something. And I possibly see people as commodities and tools to be used. Or maybe I don't. Maybe I'm actually a good friend. I don't know.
GMC?
Yes. And then it was in an all black tinted car too.
And they just started shooting. How'd they know it was you guys?
No, because you just got that vehicle, because they wouldn't have recognized you.
Yes, look, because they've been fake. Because like they know how I be driving.
No,
say
no. There's 600,000 people in this city. They're just not going to randomly see you.
And there's 10,000 people a day that drive like shit.
I'm not lying about somebody shooting at me. They're like seen in the mirror, right? In my face. And no bullets gonna fly out of nowhere.
How are they gonna know who they're shooting at if they're in the rear view of your car?
Well, I wasn't even shooting no gun. That's the first thing about it. I definitely ain't put no gun out the window.
Okay.
I ain't no badass like that, and I don't got big balls like that.
Well, if you're gonna run around with a gun and run from the police and then fire a shot off with the police right there.
I always take the gun out of my pocket.
Look, what did I tell you? Are you ever gonna pull a gun out of your pocket when the police are right there ever again?
No, hell no.
Okay, you learned a lesson today,
all right,
correct?
So we have learned at least one thing this afternoon. This afternoon has not been a complete and total loss for this gentleman. He has picked up one skill in life that may save his life. To not draw a gun while cops are pointing guns at you. I think it will serve him well in the future, because I fear that circumstance may happen again for this young man, and I feel for it. I really hope it don't. I hope he comes out and goes on and gets that engineering degree we've been talking about.
We had a little bit of a teaching moment here, right? Okay. Are you gonna have a gun in your hand when you don't know what the hell to do with it from now on? Because you could have been having the gun and driving, doing whatever. You have the gun. What if you shot Jay in the head and killed him? Then what are you going to tell his mama? Huh? That's what you're going to say to her? That'll work out well. I'm sure she'll understand. So, if you've learned 3 things from tonight, what are they? Number 1, what have you learned? Number 1.
Not to pull a gun out on an officer.
Number 2.
Not to be no more stullies.
Okay. Number 3.
Not to drive fast from cops.
To try to get away from them, correct?
Yeah.
So don't flee. Don't play with guns. And especially don't play with guns when the police are trying to take you in custody after you just fled from them. And don't be.
All right. So I'm currently in a town that is 36,000 people currently. I grew up in a town with less than 600 though. So when I talk about my hometown, I'm not talking about where I'm at now. I'm talking about where I grew up until I was 25, whenever it was I got married. And so I'm from a town so small that if I tell you the name of it and you look it up on Google Earth, you will find a different town with the same name halfway across the state over there, or a river that only barely comes nearby. It's little, dude. It's not on the maps. It's itsy. Real tiny. You know, like those little Japanese videos you see where they build the tiny little houses? It's kind of like that, but a town. Right? I think it's kind of cool. I mean, I think it's really cool that when I have issues with some place, some business, some location in town, I go in and whoever's behind the desk, I talk to them for a few minutes, and then the person that owned the joint walk out, and I went to school with him, and it's like, hey, what's going on, bud? Like, come here, talk to me. What's up? And it just gets settled. Whatever it is just handled. There's not necessarily a whole lot of officiality to it, but I just small town life. That's just the way that works.
Banning stolen cars. And those little things that you learned today may save your life. Because you did all that stuff tonight, correct?
Where did the gun really come from?
The car. No bull.
So you miraculously, you're trying to tell.
More specifically, this town is a disincorporated town that once was a bustling point of industry, but is now not even a wide spot in the railroad. There's nothing there. There's not even a public river access there. There's nothing there. There's a single building that's in the quote unquote downtown of this town. This building has failed to be a convenience store by 15 different owners 16 times in the past 20 years. That's with lotto, without lotto, with beer, without beer. One dude was selling weed out of it the whole time, and still the business failed because there's just not enough traffic to deal with any type of a structure like that. It's just one gas pump. And it doesn't even, like, it's sad, dude. It's a sad place.
Tell us that you found a car just sitting behind your baby mama's house.
It was some,
and there were guns in that car.
It was some other niggas. The car was already beamed. I will tell you the truth.
Well, you haven't. Not yet. I don't believe you yet, kid. I suspect there's something else going on here. As I understand it, at the beginning of the story, there was a couple of chicks in the car. And ever since then, it turned into 3 guys. And we still don't know the third guy's name. The other guy doesn't have a name. His name is letters. It's random freaking letters as far as I can tell. I'm sure it means something, but I'm sure you're trying to communicate. But you're just so damn cute, I'm not understanding. He had bad weed.
My game took care of me.
Listen. Just truth. All right, I don't want to see you swearing at anybody. So here's the deal.
It was a blunt up in there already. I found the car. And my girlfriend.
So you mean to tell me that you randomly find the story behind your big mom?
Yeah, she would tell you.
You hop in.
Car?
Yes, she will tell you the car was already beamed.
All right. And this is the gun you had?
No, yeah, that gun. I had that one.
This is the gun that you had that went off and then you threw it?
I was already in the car.
Okay. So let me ask you this. If you're saying that you find a stolen car with a gun in it, could it be you're getting shot at because...
We're calling it bonus points because we got guns and a stolen car. We can stack up multiple charges in one go. And according to this kid, the car was sitting there with the window shattered and the steering column already ripped out. He just got in and crunked it up with a spoon and drove off. They found 2 guns under the seat. So hypothetically speaking, it is possible that he stole some thugs' cars and those ops showed up to get it back. And then he ended up on a high-speed chase from the cops. That doesn't excuse any of it.
Maybe the car that the people that you took that car from want their gun back?
Yeah.
Is that what this is about?
Think so?
What do you mean you think so?
No, I don't think why they shot me. Bro.
Why?
They shot me because they big bad in the streets and they run the loans.
Who are these people? They mafia? What are they?
I don't know, some gang.
What gang?
They claim they off the east.
What are you off of?
I'm just a regular nigga.
You just said you're from the low end.
Actually, no. All right. So earlier he said that he had the gun in his shorts. The whole time he said it was in his pocket. He never explained whether his shorts had pockets, but it would explain why he had difficulty getting the gun out and possibly why it went off when he pulled it. If, hypothetically speaking, he wasn't actually trying to pop caps and split wigs back at the cops, which I assume he wasn't because the cop did not shoot him. He just shot near him. Some of these cops listen to Biden. There's no such thing as a warning shot, folks. That is called reckless discharge of a firearm. At best, negligent discharge is the best you can hope for in that case. Around here, that might land you a felony because we're in a bird sanctuary area. And if you discharge a firearm and they find out about it, you get charged under the Sanctuary Acts, and that's a felony. That's disturbing. That's always bothered the living shit out of me.
That's what you just said.
I'm from the lowest to my mama live on the lowest. I'm talking.
So you're from the low ends.
Or are they from the deep low ends?
Because she was doing too much.
Cool.
My mama.
What was she doing?
I had a bad child life.
All right, bro. I think that's a bunch of eyes. So I guess your name is Best I got. Barcode. We're watching this kid get shook down by some relatively humorous cops. I think I'm funnier than they are. I'm not sure, but you can let me know if I'm funnier than they are. I try to be. I've got more hindsight, and I've got to know a little bit more about the video. So, you know, actually, at this point, y'all know about as much as I do because I've already watched farther than I watched earlier.
Like what?
Been getting beat for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
But pay stuff.
Okay.
So that gives you the right to ride around in stollies and flash pistols around? No. So why bring that up?
No. There is no need to hit a bird. No bird has to be involved. We are simply in an area that is directly in line with the Eastern Bird Migration Corridor. And for that reason, the city has decided that there is no firearm usage inside the city. You may carry, open, concealed, however the hell you want to. They don't care. You just cannot fire a gun in the city. And if you do, don't. Just don't do that. Don't do that. I won't even keep guns loaded for the most part, except for a single pistol that I keep in the case over here. And that's the only gun that is actually loaded in my house. So it's right there. I keep it right there. You ain't going to just wander in and pick it up neither. So, you know. Was that a proper pronunciation of your name, bro? Like close enough? I hope. I try. So they're going to let Baldwin go. They drop charges. That man was in direct possession of a loaded firearm. It was his responsibility to check it the second he took possession of that thing. He should have checked the load. Automatically, the very first thing I do the second I put my hand on a firearm, if someone hands me one, I expect it to be empty. But if it's not, I will find out immediately because I will immediately check the breech. That's the way that works. If that's not the way that works, somebody gets shot and you end up killing people. That's not how we do things. We don't do that. Well, you know, we can end this show right now. You want to go backstage and talk about it, A-John? I have no problem with talking long into the night on that subject. I'll say, boy, just lose them pants. They're not necessary.
I'm just trying to get my life. Two babies on me.
Doesn't seem like it.
I just found out I got 2 babies.
2 babies?
2 babies.
From 2 different moms.
Ashley and Dee Dee. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? 2 baby mamas. Don't know the last
name. A lot
name.
of really bad life choices right now.
We'll let you finish that cigarette. We'll be back in a hot minute.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Can we try to get us a list? Stop it. Can we try to get us a list of charges we think is going to pop up on this kid? We have Grand Theft Auto for sure. We have a felony destruction of property of more than, like, I think it's $1,000. We have him on felony possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, which is 2 additional felonies. We have a plethora of moving violations and various other violations in association with the car that was stolen, as well as, let's see, depending on the age of the 2 guys in the vehicle, he may very well get a contributing to delinquency charge. Reckless discharge, at the very least, reckless discharge of a firearm, reckless brandishing of a firearm, various possession charges in association with that, and anything else that may have been in the car that hasn't been mentioned. Felony evasion and fleeing, which might be 2 additional felony charges. Did I miss anything? I said I did. Oh, wait, no. He never admitted to firing at the other car, but being involved in, oh yeah, and he stole another car a few days ago that he got rid of, like, day before yesterday, when he stole this car, which he didn't steal. It was just sitting on the side of the road with a broken window and a broken steering column, and he started it up with a spoon that he happened to have in his pocket. And the cops took his shorts, which is why he's not wearing them now. Did I miss anything? Yeah, no, yeah, no, clean your guns, folks. Don't let that stuff happen to them.
A couple months ago, there was a Hyundai Sonata that you were driving. Where'd you get that car from?
What car?
The Hyundai Sonata.
I stole it.
Like on August 15th. About 3 months ago. 2.5, 3 months ago.
A Hyundai Sonata? Was it good?
Might have been.
Mm-hmm.
Where'd you get that from?
It was my mom's.
Whose was it?
My mom's would say it's mom's.
Huh?
My mom's would say it's mom's.
You took it?
I ain't take it though.
Where'd you get it from?
It was in mom's. But I will say it was mom's.
What?
I
can hear you. I just don't understand what you're trying to tell us.
ain't gonna say any name. I'm gonna say it's mom's.
You drove it though, right?
Hmm.
You drove that car.
Mm-mm. And I drove it at all.
Your mom saw you driving it.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. All right. Your mom saw you driving it. Uh-huh. But you were driving that car. I've never driven that car. But your mom saw you driving it. Uh-huh. Yeah. But you've never driven it. Not once. But your mom saw you driving it. Yeah. That's right. It's like a 5-year-old, dude. My daughter, when she caught the laundry room on fire when she was like 8, she tried to lie to me about it at the time, but she did a much better job than this kid's doing. my God.
She drove it too? How long did you have that car?
A week.
For a week?
He told him earlier that they weren't his shorts, and that's where the gun was at. That conversation took place at the beginning of this interview. How he doesn't have his shorts because the cops took them, and that's where the gun was at, and the cops took it too. Because I threw it down on the ground in front of them after I shot the grass in front of them. I think we're up to speed. All right. But he didn't drive the car, but his mama did see him driving it.
Where'd you get it from?
Hello, Tails. Oh, what's up, Morgan? Good to see you.
Huh?
The East.
What does the East mean?
The East side.
East side of Milwaukee?
Did you break into a business and take that car? Who did?
What business?
Where that car was taken from?
I don't know how to think cars.
Well, you know how to drive them and you know how to start them, so it ain't that hard how to steal them.
I don't know how to take the key in this out. And you.
So what about the gray Tahoe you were driving about 2 weeks after that Hyundai? Where'd you get that one from?
What?
The big SUV. Gray Tahoe.
I don't know.
You were driving it? You didn't drive the Tahoe? Why would your prince be in it?
Because I was probably sitting in the passenger seat.
Who was driving it?
I ain't seen no names.
Huh?
I ain't seen no names.
What about the Dodge Stratus?
I was in.
You know what I'd say at this point? I don't know, man. We still a lot of cars. I don't know. I mean, like, I'm going to do one of those Congress moments where I'm like, I do not recall at this time. I do not recall at this time. I do not recall. Oh, no, I do not recall. I do not recall that at this time. See, I can do that. Or I could tell them a story about a goat.
Well, your prints are in it.
I was probably sitting in the passenger seat.
Who was driving that one?
I was with another person.
Who's that?
I ain't seen.
But you know all these cars were stolen, right? Because they're all missing the ignitions? Or what? Yeah?
So this is what, 4, 5 cars that you've been in now that have been stolen?
At least.
What's the deal with you and stolen cars? You can't ride the bus?
I can't. The reason why I was trying to turn myself in is so that I can take my baby.
That's not what he asked you.
That's why he said, where do you go all these cars? I was being trying to turn myself in.
Turn yourself in for what?
My mom said I had a Horrifying race.
You're in all of these stolen vehicles. Means that it's something that you do is, I mean, pretty often. And you had one stolen vehicle that
I don't think he's playing, bro.
A week. You even let your mom drive it. So what's the deal with you and stolen cars?
They're attracted to me like moths to a flame. It's actually my superpower. I was bitten by a radioactive car thief.
What goes through your mind when you jump into a stolen car? Like, why would you do that? You know it's not yours, right? Why would you do it?
Why do you take things that don't belong
What do
to
people
you?
use cars for?
People use cars to go one place to another.
Okay. And why would somebody buy a car?
Because it's stolen.
What do you think the purpose for buying a car would be?
What's the main place you would go when you buy a car on a daily basis?
To work and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens when somebody takes that car?
They'll only be pissed.
What else happens?
They'll leave mad. They're gonna call the police.
That's short term. What's a long term thing that happens? They can't go to work. They can't take their kids to school. They can't go grocery shopping. They can't go see their relatives. All because people take cars and take their car that they saved up for or they're making a payment on. So again, I ask the question, what is with you and stolen cars?
I don't know.
Do you work for a car? Do you drive to work? Do you go and buy groceries? Do you take care of other family members, taking other family members back and forth?
I'll be honest,
to their
Queen
job
Bird.
or
I'll
their
tell you the
school?
truth. I feel like talking real slow to this kid, real slow, very clearly, and having some discussions about what his first language is. We might have to go get a sibling to explain what these white people are trying to say to him, because clearly there's a breakdown of communication somewhere across that table. Somewhere in that 10, 14 inches there's a complete breakdown of communication.
To go to see the doctor.
So what gives you the right to take somebody else's stuff and drive it around like it's yours?
Because I got my spoon.
And destroy it.
What gives you that right? Do you have a right to their stuff? Then why do you do it?
Because I got my spoon.
Why do you do it?
Because I got my spoon.
There's got to be a reason.
If I see the car, I should just call the police.
No. Why do you do it?
On a regular basis. Car after car after car after car. Is it cool? Do you get paid to do it? What is it?
Right. No, he got bit by a radioactive car thief. Like Car Thief News. And if you're not familiar with that guy, go check him out. He's hilarious to me. He does see he's got a traumatic brain injury, and sometimes when he's talking, he gets words mixed up, and some of the ways he mixes up words just, oh my God, it makes me giggle so hard.
Or are you just lazy?
I'll get on the bus.
Not lately.
I'll tell you what,
people's cars for
when he gets out of prison, when he finally gets out of jail, we're going to have a really long conversation about the very, very narrow specifics involving the differences between brandishing, discharging, displaying, and all that cool shit. We're going to break it on down so that things that have happened do not happen again, because that's not cool, folks. Don't do what Biden tells you to and wave your shotgun around. That's not going to help. That's no good.
For weeks at a time. We're not dumb. We're not mom that doesn't care about you, and we're not on.
No, what it says is I have relationships with women, sex with men. That's what that scene says. Samuel the Infamous uses it as one of his cut scenes.
Drugs all the time. We're not that stupid to listen to what you try to portray as a decent answer.
So you take stolen car after stolen car after stolen car. You claim you're not from the streets, but your actions sure make it look like you think you're something on the streets. So are we supposed to listen to what you're telling us or listen to what is actually happening? Every car that you steal
Because I got my spoon, yo.
You know what's stolen? You prevent the owner, the true person who owns that vehicle, from using that vehicle because they purchased that vehicle for their ability to go back and forth to work, back and forth to school, back and forth to the groceries, to the doctors, to the family's houses. You prevent them from doing that. Not society, not the police. Nobody else is doing that. You are victimizing those people by stealing their cars and driving them around. Because somehow you think you're better than them. That you deserve to have their shit and they don't. My question was, what is it? Why do you think that you deserve their shit more than they do?
And the answer is, he would like an answer. That's what that means. I don't know. That's not an answer. You do know because you do it all the time on a regular basis. Why?
I don't be alone with these cars.
So
you're still driving them.
I don't think the cars.
It doesn't matter.
That's why I only.
You know they're stolen. You're in them. You think it's cool? You get points on Grand Theft Auto for being in a real stolen car? I don't. What is it? Do you get an extra cheeseburger when you order a Happy Meal if you're in a stolen car? There's got to be some benefit to it. The only benefit is going to jail or losing your life. Driving like an idiot like you were tonight. What if you crashed into someone's car and killed 2 people? It's happened about 40 times this year. That idiot's just like you, driving like a complete ass, crashing into someone innocent because you think you're so special because you don't give a shit about the car because it ain't your car. And number one, you kill someone in the other car or you kill your buddy next to you. A lot of times you don't get killed. I don't know how that happens. It's always someone that ain't driving that gets killed a lot of times.
I'm a true op.
So not only are you playing with guns, you're screwing around with a car, but you don't care, do you?
I do care.
No, you don't. Because if you cared, you wouldn't be continually doing it. It's not like you're trying to get your mom to the hospital because she got shot. It's not like you're trying to take your daughter to the hospital because she's not breathing. You're out here fucking around. Like I said, it's going to end up very bad for you one time. If this wasn't bad enough, but...
Nah, dude, it's way worse than that. If you drive a little too far, a little farther than a cop feels comfortable with you driving, they would just up and freaking hit your ass, right? There's a case not too long ago. What's up, Smoking Auditor? There was a case not too long ago where a cop pitted a pregnant woman who wanted to get to a place to pull off with lights. He just rammed her ass over. She wasn't expecting it, and so like it did that forward death roll. Drive it like a road.
I remember seeing that video.
She scares me. That woman scared the living bejesus out of me, and that's all I got to say about that.
You make, and whether it continues or not. I didn't grab an ink pad like I said I was going to. You got one?
Yeah, I get one.
Right. I screwed up.
There's one right beside.
Oh. All right. As part of the investigation, we'd like to get a DNA sample from you. It just swabs in your mouth. Okay? You willing to do that? Compare it to the evidence at the scene. I just have to read this to you. This, I, Nathaniel Lewick, date of birth 6/30/2002, that's you, correct? Will be voluntarily submitting a DNA specimen to the Milwaukee Police Department for criminal investigative purposes. I understand that this specimen will be entered into the DNA database maintained by the Wisconsin State Crime Lab. By signing my name below, I verify that I have had a DNA collection oral swab procedure explained to me by me. I understand that I'm not required by law to provide a DNA specimen, and I am submitting my DNA specimen knowingly and voluntarily without threats or promises being made to me. You understand all that? You're willing to give us
Right there, I'd be like, no, you're not getting my DNA. No way in hell.
They're going to get a warrant for it anyway, but yeah, there's no
That's
point
fine
for them. I'm with it. I'm hip.
appreciate that.
Sometimes they do. Like the one we watched the other day. That
Even
was
though you signed it,
really weird one.
we also have to get some fingerprints from you.
I do not consent to giving up my fingerprints. Those are mine. I made them myself.
Yeah, we're well. I think we're well beyond the pale on that one.
I claim copyright. You're stealing my pictures.
Look at that, a 3-for-1.
Oh.
I like it. Does anyone ever explain things that you do and what the real repercussions of them are? It's not just the people that, getting arrested. It's, do you really give a shit about the people that you're victimizing? Do you care that a single mom can't take their kid to daycare so they can go to work? Do you care that someone can't take their 95-year-old mother to the doctor because you're rolling around, smoking, joking, playing with guns, and fleeing from police in their car? Do you care at all? I'm asking you.
I do.
Start showing it then. You ain't my kid. I don't have to answer for you.
We're not
You're 18,
worthy.
you're an adult. Because you know what? Karma. You do good things come to you.
We had Karma's pimping her earlier.
Do bad things.
Hey, Swiss Miss.
You understand that? You know what karma is? It's about what happens with the police.
I go under.
All right, take this swab, rub it on the right side of your cheek. Along your gum line? No, all the way in there. Get on your gums all the way down, roll it around, push it into your cheek, roll it. Roll it. All right.
See, right there, even if they did have a warrant, I'd be like, neither you nor me is a medical professional, and I was not entering my body without a medical degree.
Roll it, put it on your gums, roll it. Up and down, up and down. There we go.
I'm gonna make you squeal like a pig, boy.
What do you think should happen to you with all the stuff that happened tonight?
Hey, Scully.
Huh? That I don't know crap don't work. Is it I don't know or you don't care?
I do care.
Well, then what? If somebody did this to your family and everything and all this stuff, and what would you like to happen to that person?
Do they time?
How much time? 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, how much?
Yes.
What's going to make you learn your lesson?
You want to get out of jail when you're 30, 50, 40?
No.
When? When would you like to get out of jail?
I'm going to change my life.
How? Continue to hang out with Jay?
No.
Continue to have, maybe you could have 3 babies coming at once?
No.
How are you going to change your life? I'm asking you.
I'm going to change my life because I just found out I had a baby.
You didn't.
I just did.
You found out about the pursuit.
I was going on the way to my girlfriend's house, and that's when the cops was making a U-turn. I told you I was going home.
And you still fight for police. And you still tried to take a gun on in the middle of that pursuit.
Hey,
Behind the bush.
that's okay, Scully. He got 3 baby mamas, but he don't remember the last name. That's probably the most depressing part of this entire story. All the rest of it might be total bullshit. I believe him on that. Oh my God.
A shot went off, and you're damn lucky you didn't get hit.
Find me a Dogman channel. Find me
Anything
a
else?
Bigfoot channel. Find me a fairy hunter channel that'll talk to me. None of these people will talk to me. As soon as they realize I got 2,000 subscribers, they duck right the hell out immediately. They're like, no response. They straight ghost me.
Well, we'll take you back upstairs. All your stuff will get sent over. You'll get sent over
Tiff,
to
that's
county
facts
jail. You're in that
detective.
county jail? That's where you'll be going. And the DA will decide what he charges you with, and after you get charged, and see what your bail is, see if your mom can pay your bail. How much bail do you think your mom can pay? How about your girlfriend? 50,000? 100,000? They got that much money?
Blue Unicorn. Get your alter ego to ask your current ego whether it's in can come out and play.
Otherwise, you're going to be at county jail for a long time. How long did you spend out of DT when you got arrested?
Absolutely, Blue Unicorn. Give me a date. Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturdays.
Like
I
that?
go live 8 p.m. Eastern. Send me a time and a date. I'll schedule it. Show up. We'll do it. Otherwise, I'll do some more of this type
I don't
stuff.
see this getting resolved within a month, so you may not be out before your babies are born. How you feel about that? You might not see your babies until they come visit you.
What kind of drugs are you doing, bro? I've never heard no bail drugs before.
And I told you I was.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, that was you dingling, wasn't it?
Nathaniel.
That was the little metal cap for my tiki torches. I think I'm going to start a fire.
That's exactly what that is. I've heard that before. Had I thought about it a little bit, I might have could have guessed that one because I've heard that before. I hate these little fuckers. All right. So what we got up next?
I do not know. I don't even know which video we're on out of the playlist.
I got a Harvey Freebird video.
I say playlist. I should say description.
Let's talk about Sucking the Monkey. Have you ever heard of Sucking the Monkey?
No.
All right. So check this out. Back in the days when alcohol was shipped from one side of the Atlantic to the other, there was this practice of people making stainless steel, brass, or copper pipes, utilizing a small knife to drill a hole in the bung of a rum keg and drinking all of drinking the alcohol that way. And people died from doing this. And the term was called sucking the monkey or riding the saddle or what was it? Draining the admiral, because of the story of one of the admirals. I can't remember which one of the admirals got pickled in a keg of rum, and the sailors on the ship were sneaking rum from this keg that was stuck over in the back. Nobody had told anybody that there was a dead body in one of the kegs, right? And anyway, the whole story is here. It's called Draining the Admiral, because when they got it back to England, they found out that the crew had drank like 25 gallons of the rum out of the admiral's carcass.
Damn.
Sucking the monkey safer. But check this mess out. It's retarded. It's ridiculous.
It used to be quite common for people to die from the effects of sucking the monkey. Indeed, the newspaper
I'm gonna laugh every
reports
time
of
he
the
says
latter
it.
half of the 19th century
So,
contain
hold on.
new.
Here's your drinking game for the night, folks. It's pretty late. I think y'all can get away with it. Every time he says the term sucking the monkey, take a shot. When he says riding the saddle, take 2 shots.
Numerous reports of such fatalities, and by all accounts, it wasn't a particularly pleasant way to go. The term sucking the monkey actually referred to a means by which liquor could be surreptitiously extracted from casks, and it originated in the Royal Navy, where the practice was also known as tapping the admiral. According to tradition, the first admiral to be tapped by his subordinates was Horatio Lord Nelson, the naval hero who was killed by a French sniper at the Battle of Trafalgar, at which the British fleet was ultimately victorious over that of the French. Nelson's body, the story goes, was placed in a cask of brandy or rum to preserve it on the long voyage back to England. However, his ship, HMS Victory, put in at Gibraltar in order that the damage sustained during the battle could be repaired, and here a disturbing discovery was made. Orders were given to replace the original pickling agent with wine spirit, which was believed to be a superior preservative.
Absolutely not. I'm not drinking.
On opening the cask, it discovered that the brandy or rum had been drained by the sailors, who had drilled a hole in its bottom and had gulped down the entire contents. The story is probably apocryphal, but it was a good yarn nonetheless, and it was certainly widely believed, with the result that Nelson's blood had soon become the slang term for brandy and rum, whereas to tap the admiral became a colloquialism with sailors that meant furtively sucking liquor from a cask through a straw. Although whether this actually does refer to the Nelson full-bodied beverage is debatable, as evidence suggests that the expression predates the death of Nelson by many decades. By the time of Nelson's demise, the practice was also commonly referred to as sucking the monkey, and there are several contemporary newspaper accounts of Jolly Jack tars indulging in it. On Monday, the 25th of February, 1805, for example, the Public Ledger and Commercial and General Advertiser reported on a case in the Court of Common Pleas whereby a Mr. Denny had sued a Captain Dowson to recover the value of 80 gallons of Hollands, which, so the article informed its readers, the defendant, a ship owner, had negligently suffered to leak out of the cask while conveying it from London in his vessel to the place of destination. The liquor was sent in casks, supposed to be sound, from Mr. Gray's distillery in Leadenhall Street to the defendant's ship, and in the voyage to Woodbridge, the whole leaked out, except 1 pint, which was attributed either to the captain's inattention,
be ready for the fire,
stowed, or what is termed sucking the monkey, a peculiar mode practiced by seamen of drinking liquor out of casks in a ship's hold. Quite how the expression came about is uncertain. One explanation attributes its origins to sailors who, having put ashore in the East and West Indies, enjoyed drinking rum through a straw from coconut shells. Since the 3 dots on the shell were thought to resemble a monkey's face, drinking from it became known as sucking the monkey. Whatever its origins, the term certainly enjoyed wide circulation amongst sailors, and by the mid-19th century, both the expression and the practice had been enthusiastically embraced by the workers in the London docks. The Weekly Chronicle, on Saturday the 23rd of February, 1850, reported on a case that featured the practice. Sucking the monkey.
That's 4 shots.
James Thomas, a labourer in the London docks, was charged at the Thames Court with an offence known as sucking the monkey.
That's 5 shots.
A constable saw the prisoner embracing a rum in the docks with his mouth lovingly.
I'm going to turn my camera off.
Okay,
buddy. I'm going to start hitting every time he says it. I'm going to take me a puff.
Sucking the monkey. There you go.
And it was evident that he had sucked up spirits from the cask. The prisoner said he had been 10 years a labourer in the docks, and this was his first offence. The magistrate considered it necessary to make an example for the protection of property necessarily so much exposed as that in the docks. He fined the prisoner £5 and, in default of payment, sent him to prison for a month. On Saturday the 18th of October, 1851, the following story appeared in the Weekly News and Chronicle. Sucking the monkey.
6 shots.
At the Thames Court, a police constable named Doyle and a private watchman named Price have been sentenced to 2 months' imprisonment for unlawfully obtaining wine from a cask in the London docks. The prisoners were suspected, and on the Monday evening, 2 police inspectors hid themselves on the quay in the tobacco dock. About 9:15, the prisoners came to the place. Price went towards a pipe of Spanish wine on the quay and took from his pocket what appeared to be a knife with which he worked and cut the bung from the cask. Doyle then handed him something which he believed to be a tube, and Price inserted it into the bunghole of the cask, stooped down with his mouth over the hole.
It was a very interesting series of words. Oh, that's what she said.
And appeared to be drinking. After Price had sucked the monkey, the technical term given to this sort of plunder in the docks, he handed something to Doyle, who also applied his mouth to the bunghole and sucked the wine out.
Can you imagine going to your friend and say, hey, let's go suck this monkey? Come on, bro, it'll be fine. We'll get drunk as fuck sucking the monkey.
Hey, that would not have been the strangest thing I'd suggested to my friends. I had very interesting friends. If you didn't have interesting friends, you wouldn't understand. They would also not be the strangest thing suggested to me by those friends. Bye.
Until 2:00 in the morning, as they expected someone else to follow the prisoners in their work of plunder. At 2:00, they discovered Price on the quay fast asleep. He was intoxicated and smelt very strongly of the wine he had been drinking. In 1853, Robert Richard Vaughan
Yeah, I hit the button by accident. My shirt's soaking wet because of a mistake I made. It was caught on video too, but no one noticed because it's so dark outside. My shirt is completely soaked right now.
In the London docks. Last evening, Mr. W. Baker held an inquest at the Barleymow Tavern, Cannon Street, St. George in the East, respecting the death of Robert Richard Vaughan, aged 45 years. The deceased was a labourer in the London docks, and on Monday afternoon last was engaged with other men at the Eastern Quay.
Engaged?
A large quantity of white brandy was on the wharf in casks, and the bungs were out to allow the gaugers to examine the extent and quality of the contents when one of the dock officers saw the deceased
what the hell did I hit now?
drinking brandy through a hollow piece of cane, which is commonly called sucking the monkey. The officer ordered the deceased away from the warehouse and told him to leave the docks, which he did.
Did I just freeze up?
The deceased was discovered lying upon the pavement in Chigwell Hill, Ratcliffe Highway, quite insensible, in which condition he was taken home by 4 men to his lodgings at number 2 Russell Court, St. George's Street, where he expired at an early hour on the following morning. Mr. Richard Sharp, surgeon,
yourself?
He was
do what?
I thought you hit the mute button while you were trying to talk.
Maybe so. What I said is we can hear you, we can see you, Russell Sperry, and we know you're trying to communicate, but you have to blink at us in Morse code for us to respond, because I'm that type of asshole to make things complicated.
Okay, long, short, long, short, long, short, long, short, long.
So are you.
That's the only word I know.
Mama.
And had made a post-mortem examination of the body. On opening the stomach, he found about 5 ounces of strong spirit, which seemed to be brandy. The witness had no doubt that the deceased had died from congestion of the brain produced by what he had drunk.
Holy shit.
The coroner having remarked on the case, the jury returned a verdict of died from drinking a quantity of overproof brandy. The practice soon became widespread in the London docks, and newspapers constantly reported on those who had died from its effects. On Thursday, the 14th of January, 1869, the Brighton Gazette reported on another fatality. Sucking a monkey has secured another victim. The term we have used is a well-known one amongst those employed in the London docks. It refers to the insertion of a straw or tube in the bung of a spirit cask and the absorption thereby of liquor drawn into the mouth and drank. But not only is this very dishonest, but very dangerous, the effect of such sucking being to produce speedy intoxication. And so one Philip Godfrey, dock labourer, found it last week, for it caused his death.
Isn't that why people use straws to drink nowadays?
You hear that a lot, but it kind of depends on the drink you're mixing. I can tell you from experience that a hand grenade from Bourbon Street has 5 shots of Everclear and a spit of lime with a little sugar. That's about it. That thing will blow your fucking mind, dude. It is a weapon. It is a lethal item. I drank 3/4 of one up and down Bourbon Street when I was down there, and it was a life-altering experience because I didn't realize it had 5 shots of Everclear, and I drank like half of one and was getting smashed. And I handed it over to the other guy that we was walking with, and he just slurped the darn thing down. Directly, he got sick. We had to take him back to the place over there so he could get on the trolley. We just stuck his ass on the trolley, put some quarters in the damn thing, and left his ass on there. Good luck, bud. Went back, got us another hand grenade. We ended up splitting that one like 4 ways. It was a god-awful fucking experience. It was like 102 degrees in Louisiana. Fucking New Orleans hot, dude. That place is a different kind of hot. Like, I live in a really high humidity area. That place was like wearing a wet glove. It's downhill from sea level. It's fucked up.
I would not be getting drunk that. No, that's too hot to be drinking.
Bro, I didn't realize it was everything. I was just like, hey, hand grenade looks good. And everybody kind of giggled. I got it. And then I got a frozen one because it was so hot. But the first one I got was liquid. It just had ice in it. That thing was just shook. I dropped a straw at the bottom of that thing and got smashed. Ridiculously smashed. That was the same trip. That was the same trip where me and Jim, my bud, gets on the trolley one morning to go down to go get us some breakfast at this little mom and pop's restaurant down the street. And we get on there, and there's this voodoo woman sitting on the trolley next to us, as she starts talking to herself and threw some damn salt at Jim. Like he was, I thought Jim was gonna lose his mind, dude. He was sitting there trying to stay cool. He turns and looks at me, and that chick hit him with salt in the side of the head. And then said some
Apparently, she thought he had bad luck or was bad juju, something.
I don't know, but his reaction was absolutely beautiful. Like, I've never seen a man's eyes bug out so hard in my life, because he just had no idea how to help us. Oh, Lord.
The Echo reported on another tragedy caused by the practice. Death of a prisoner. Amongst the prisoners charged this morning at the Thames Police Court was James Donovan, aged 40, a labourer who was charged with being found drunk and incapable. The magistrate was informed that after the unfortunate man was arrested, he died. About 4:30 on Friday afternoon, Constable 124H found Donovan lying on the pavement in High Street, Shadwell, in an insensible condition. An ambulance was procured and the man conveyed to the Shadwell police station, when the inspector sent for the divisional surgeon.
What's up, William? Good to see you.
On the latter examining the man, he found him suffering from the effects of drink. By the doctor's advice, Donovan was removed to the London hospital, where he died about 3 hours afterwards from the effects of alcoholic poisoning. From inquiries made, it appeared that the deceased man had been sucking the monkey from a cask of rum at the Colonial Wharf, and he had brought about the condition in which he was found. Some months ago, Constable 134H found Donovan in a similar condition as he was on Friday afternoon. On that occasion, he had been sucking the monkey from a wine cask. Mr. Lushington marked the sheet, died in hospital.
You know, wasn't there like a giant river of alcohol on fire somewhere from a factory?
Yeah,
and all the people, I want to say like Russia, all the Russians came out.
No. That happened also, but a few years ago, the Jack Daniels distillery caught on fire, and there was no bullshit, a river of burning alcohol running down the creeks and streams.
And didn't a whole bunch of people just get wasted off of that?
I'm sure.
And none of them had these kind of effects. What's wrong with this alcohol? Why is it so poisonous?
Well, first of all, it's what they call overproof brandy. These people are used to drinking what's called house brandy, which is cut with like 2/3 water. It might have a 15-18% alcohol content by the time it gets poured in your glass at a house. So these people are drinking like 160 proof brandy or so, and they're used to like 15% brandy. So when they think, okay, I'm going to drink a pint, which is what they order at the little place over here, and then they use the straw to suck a pint out of this brandy cask, and then they die. That's not unexpected.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't like the way my face looks, but it's more comfortable holding my phone like this.
I mean, sure, whatever you got to do. You can throw up your avatar and throw it over on the table. It'll be fine.
I don't care.
And dramatically in the
More views if people see your face, right?
Resurgence in the early 20th century, particularly in the aftermath of the First World War, by which time it had also become known as riding the pony, on account of the fact that it was common for those doing it to straddle the barrel whilst imbibing.
Hey, that was pony, not monkey. The rules, monkey.
At the very beginning of this bit, I said it's 1 shot for sucking the monkey, 2 shots for riding the pony. And whenever they say tap the Admiral, you can just take a rip off whatever you got handy.
See, I'm on StreamYard, so I cannot rewind to verify that you did not say that at the time.
You also said you didn't see the beginning of the video, so how would you know?
I saw the beginning of this video. I didn't see the beginning of the last video. Ha!
I totally said it, bro. I totally said it. Those of you in chat who care, just don't.
By the following story from the Dundee Evening Telegraph of the 12th of May, 1919. Sucking the monkey. Doc Labor's death from overproof brandy. When an inquest was held at the London hospital on Joseph Hyams, 31 years, a dock labourer of Christian Street, St. George's in the East, it was stated that the deceased was found in an unconscious condition by the side of a cask of brandy in one of the sheds at the London docks, and he died within 2 hours after removal to the hospital from asphyxiation while in a state of acute alcoholism. Police Constable Perry said it was found that 3 casks of brandy, each containing 60 gallons of overproof spirit, had been tampered with, and each cask was deficient to the extent of 1 pint. The method by which the brandy was obtained was by making a hole through the bung by the use of a sharp instrument, and then inserting a thick piece of brown paper twisted after the manner of a pipe lighter, or by glass or metal tubing. The deputy coroner asked, "Is that what is called sucking the monkey?" The witness replied,
15. It is again.
The pony, which means that a man, having made the necessary insertion through the bung, gets astride the cask as though riding a pony and then sucks up the spirit.
16, 17.
The coroner said that one
Give me a second to catch up, damn it.
And the deceased, having apparently obtained this, had been asphyxiated. Death by misadventure was the verdict. By the 1930s, sucking the monkey had become very much a thing of the past, and the only references to it.
See, now I have a problem.
Retired dock workers.
I can't just open up another drink.
Nowadays, the term is rarely
used. This is why the rum is always
gone. If it crops up at all, histories of the Victorian docks, in which it was an oft-used and well-known term. The most common reaction of people on hearing it today is to snigger, as it instantly conjures up vulgar connotations that are far removed from its actual meaning. But as my wise and dear old mother used to say, it's not the mouth it comes out of, it's the mind it goes into.
Okay, I'll be right back after I re-prepare myself for the rest of this video.
All right, brother, actually, I'm probably fixing to end all of this.
That's cool.
So if you want to hang,
anyways,
I can just drop you backstage and do the thing.
That's fine. Good night, good evening, good morning to everyone who sees us. See y'all later.
See you in a minute. All right, so I think we've had a fairly beneficial evening. We've learned what not to say to the police and how to get arrested with the whole host of felonies. Just use that gentleman's template, and I'm sure they'll lock you right up for whatever you want to be locked up for. So basically, carry a spoon, use the power of your spoon to overcome all locks and take whatever car you want. That's his philosophy, and that's the way he lives. So, that's what we're going to go with. Did I ever upload that outro? No, I didn't. I should upload the outro over there.
Sorry. Good news, though. We're going to have to move the party somewhere a little bit more private, but you're all invited. Lorenzo will give you the details. Yeah!
Hey, she was a cutie in a sundress. I told her I just had to confess.